is up, everybody? Happy Friday. Yes, today is Friday. Finally got it right this week. Hope everybody is having a good Friday. Stop this music here. It's going to be an abrupt stop. Happy Friday, everybody. Glad you're all here. And I'm going to be cutting things a little bit short today because I will be on Truth Wanted at 7 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, Jeremiah. Happy Friday to you. Good to see you, Isa Secular, Kif Webb, HLT, Talon BZ, Professor Hizzle. So welcome. So, as I said, I will be dipping a little bit early so I can do Truth Wanted tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be on there with Monkey Boy. So be sure you all tune in for that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get this started. Let's get this thing going. Let's tap the screen. AG337, good to see you. Pokey, good to see you. Billy the Silly, good to see you. Atheist Community Austin, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. So let's start tapping the screen. Let's share. Let's get some likes going. All that good stuff. Everything we can do to support the live. And if you are at least 18, a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, and you have evidence that God is not evil, request up. Let's talk. So let's get in that guest queue. And if you are a believer and you don't have evidence, but you know someone who does, or if you're a non-believer for that matter, and you think you know someone who does have evidence and is a believer, invite them over. Send the invite. Let them come up. So we're talking about the best evidence that God is not evil. UFO files prove angels are real. Now, how do we know that that is evidence that God is not evil? Doesn't follow. Doesn't answer the question. So let's hear that evidence. So I've been running this most of the week, and it's been a fun topic, to say the least. Sparkles, good to see you. It has definitely been a fun topic. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for the things to warm up. We're gonna wait for things to heat up, get warm. And let's go. And we can do this on both sides. So YouTube, yeah, use that share button as well. TikTok, folks, use that share button. Let's get this shared out. Let's get some people in here. Believers are loading. Yeah, exactly. Believers loading. And I should probably get my multi-guest and poll, big poll windows ready, so we can have things just on the ready, at the go. Get the poll and gift vote. There we go. That's ready to go. All right, we are good. Here we go. All right. So, interesting stuff. Interesting. So again, believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. You are at least 18 and you have evidence that God is not evil. Messed up. And I think we have an old friend in the queue. I haven't talked to, if it's who I think it is, we haven't talked in a while. So let's see who this is. I think it's who I think it is.
Indeed it is, my friend.
It is. What? Hey, it's good to see you. You tricked me with the PFP change.
New face.
Profile.
Yes.
Yeah, the new face.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
It's good to see that you're doing well and you've expanded.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Of
Yeah,
course. I'm not here to argue, but I did have one question I wanted to
absolutely.
ask as I watch your journey. You told me when we first spoke that the reason you do this is because you believe there is a certain unhealthiness, I'll say, within our collective minds about religion. And you believe to help people confront this unhealthiness would be a good thing. Is that in general?
Yeah. And in a lot of
Okay.
ways, that's still the case. Yeah. I
I
think
believe
it's,
it.
yeah, a lot of ways, it's
I
still the
appreciate
case.
you doing your work, friend. I do want to ask, have you ever directly converted someone or made someone really openly say, like, I've never thought about it that way. I'll give it some, has that ever happened on the live?
Actually, on the live, yes, it has. And also, people have come forward after some time and had said, I was listening to you, I was hate watching you, and
Mm,
actually you made me think about a lot of things and you made me realize, yeah, this isn't true. So
mm.
actually I'd say, what do you think, chat? Like at least 8 to 10 people at least. But like other creators are saying that people are going in their lives and saying, yeah, I listened to Trust But Verify and he said this and now I'm not sure and all that. Yeah. So it's been,
Well, that's awesome.
yeah,
Thank you
it's
for
several
sharing
people.
that with me.
Yeah,
Because, I don't really debate. That's not how I do this. But
exactly.
I have always thought that the way you went about your conversations was clearly in that same open energy. So it's really nice to see that it's possible to have both. You can
Yeah, it
have a
is.
little bit of a friendly spar and still also be open enough to allow conversation.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, things change. And I think I've evolved to a point where I'm just not allowing people to cross my boundaries. I do have some boundaries for, mental health reasons, for, personal care reasons. And if people do cross those lines, Unity, I'm going to say something. I'm going to hold my ground. And sometimes we
Amazing.
do get into conflicts, but that's how it is sometimes, when you have to defend your
Mhm.
boundaries.
Sure, I
Hmm.
understand that. I
Yeah.
suppose the only other last question I've had over the few months that I've observed is because I'll presume, though you can correct me, that you never watched those Bashar videos I sent you.
Actually, I did. I just never got back to
Oh,
you. Yeah, I
no,
actually
that's
did.
that's totally fine. You live
Yeah.
your dance, friend. We're where we need to be. But the reason I presumed this and was curious is because, from my perspective, of course, I don't think it's worth arguing with people, but I'm glad it's working for you. And I always wonder, you
Thanks.
seem to be pushing against other truths, but how much do you consider, shall I say, just the idea that the truth is bigger, and how much do you seek that truth, so to speak?
I think I do. I
Does that
think
make sense?
yes, it does. And I think that if the truth is bigger, I think pursuing the truth will uncover that truth at some point, if that makes sense.
Mm. No, it does make sense. It
Hmm.
is part of the process. I get
Yeah.
it.
So it's always pursuing, follow the evidence. That's what it says right above my
Mm.
head. Follow the evidence. Challenge minds.
Well, I am always grateful to talk with you, and I'm really glad I got
Same.
the chance to share some love, brother.
Unity. Yeah. Always good to hear from you, sir. Always good to hear from you. So yeah, man, do your thing, man.
Until
Stay
we speak
strong.
again,
All
be well
right.
in your day.
All right. Take care. So yeah, that was Unity. And don't know if anyone knows who Unity is, but yeah, definitely he's he's more like on the spiritual bent and things like that. And yeah, kind person, very kind person. And so we had some long conversations like in the very beginning. And yeah, I got no beef with Unity. So we are good. We are good. So it was good to see Unity. Good to hear from Unity. Yeah. Good to hear from Unity. So so yeah, let's keep tapping the screen. Let's share it out and do everything we can to support the live. All right. So things look pretty warmed up. So let's get our second guest for that matter. Let's get Strong Money in here. Let's get things going. And again, if you are a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and you're at least 18, you have evidence that God is not evil, request up. How's it going, Strong Money?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, it's going good. How are you?
Nah, I just came across your point.
All right. Yeah, thanks for coming through. So, can I get your age and your pronouns, please?
Pronouns.
Yep.
I'm, I'm 37, and I think I'm a man.
You're a man? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's your sex. Yeah. So appreciate that. So in that regard, which pronouns as a man do you prefer people use for you? It's just so my chat
Uh,
can refer to you properly. No disrespect.
this what's going on these days.
It is. It is. Because there's some men who
Uh,
prefer they, them. There's some who prefer she, her. There's some men who prefer it, we, us. So, and there's, of course, there's he, him. So which ones would you prefer we use for you?
just call me Brody, bro. Like I seen it lately, but that is crazy to me.
Hey, man, these are the times, man. Yeah. We got to roll with it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh, but what your
which
prompt
pronouns would
is?
you like us to use?
Just call me bro, brother, bro.
Bro, brother? Well, those are like adjectives, right? Those aren't
Uh,
pronouns. Like
anything.
he, him, she, her, they, them, we, us,
Him,
he, him.
anything
Fantastic.
manly.
Okay, fantastic. All right. And which God do you believe in?
I'm illuminated, so I believe in one God that created all of humanity.
Okay. And is that the Christian God, the Muslim God, the Jewish God?
One God that created everything. He created both light and dark and good and evil.
Okay. And again, which God is that? Because Islam claims that, Judaism claims that, Christianity claims that, Zoroastrianism claims that.
I've been in a lot of different rooms and they all argue beliefs. I'm not a believer. I'm the truth seeker.
Okay.
You know, I'm illuminated.
Creator.
So yeah, I done studied all of them. I went to Vanderbilt University and we took a class on religion studies, and I had to I was born a Christian and I like it. Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, King Solomon, King David, I've been there.
All right. Is Jesus your personal savior?
No, he's a personal virtue.
Okay, but he's not your savior. That's what it sounds like.
I don't see all that's beliefs. The message that he taught of good, that's a virtue in all religions.
Okay.
All
right. I'm just trying to parse out which religion or which belief you have. That's it. Because I only want to talk to certain number of people. You know, certain people with certain beliefs. That's why I'm filtering this. So that's all. But I think I got it. So it sounds like you believe in a intelligent mind that created reality, created existence. Can we at least go there?
He created humanity.
Okay, but it's an intelligent mind, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like
okay. Okay. All right. 3.5 minutes later, we got it. Okay. What is your best evidence that this creator that you believe in is not evil?
Well, he created everything, so how can he not be evil?
Okay. Well, evil. So you're saying evil gods can't create?
No, if it's one God that created everything and he needs to test your free will to test your goodness, why when he created evilness to test your goodness? He's the ultimate. If God is the ultimate and he controls everything, do you think he gonna fight the devil? He creates everything. He created the devil.
Okay.
So
why did he create the devil?
To test your free will to see if you're going. Yes.
Okay, got it. Now, is this creator of yours all knowing?
He created every particle.
Right. I'm asking if he's all knowing. He knows everything.
All know. Yeah, of course.
Okay, so if he knows everything, why would he need to test me? Because he already knows whether or not I'm gonna pass the test, right?
Because you got free will.
Right. I'm asking though, why would he need to? What is he testing me for? Like, what's the point of the test?
To see if your soul is worthy of the goodness or the darkness.
Well, if he's all knowing, wouldn't he already know that?
No, he wouldn't know that because you have free will. No, you have free will.
Well, yeah, but brother, what I'm saying though is if he knows everything, like you just said, he would already know whether or not my soul would pass this test.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Oh well, the journey that we go on, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but
So,
it's like a move. It's like a movie.
right, but why would he need to test me if he already knows if I'm going to pass the test or not?
See, now you talking about different dimensions, and you talking about time.
No, I'm not
You,
talking about that at all. I'm talking about his knowledge.
his knowledge is with everything.
Yeah. So if his knowledge is with everything, that means that he knows whether or not I'm going to pass this test. So
Okay,
what is the point of giving a test that he knows whether people will pass or fail? That doesn't make sense.
with your consciousness, do you believe in different dimensions? Because your
Well, there's
dimension
4
and
dimensions that we know of.
that we know of,
Yeah.
how many do they say it is?
4.
I'm
I mean,
talking
people
about,
claim all the other dimensions. We have no evidence of these dimensions. So you'd have to provide
but
evidence of the dimensions. But there's no
keyword.
evidence of any other dimensions except the 4.
But if you think about it, the other dimensions you can think about of all the possibilities.
Okay. Well, what I'm looking for is evidence, though. Strong money, right? So, I mean, again,
You have
you can claim possibilities aren't evidence, right? Like
oh
you can do lots of evidence, you can do lots of possibilities for lots of things, but that doesn't mean it's true.
okay. So understand.
Okay.
If you believe in the different dimensions, think about this. If you have kids, what if you never had that kid?
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
that's a different dimension.
Well, that's
Come on.
more like many worlds, right?
Okay,
It's not necessarily dimensions, it's many worlds. So it's like
okay, but
all but see all those possibilities that you're talking about, which is true. That fits within like quantum mechanics, right? You have all these
if you
possibilities of these events happening. However, they're all in the same dimension. They're not in different dimensions.
where it would be different dimensions because
No,
when you,
it's not what physicists say.
just listen to me. If you decide to smoke certain type of drugs,
Okay.
and I
Oh,
don't want to say
can't say all that because you're gonna get my live restricted. Can't talk
no,
about
I'm
that.
not gonna do that.
Just
I
say party
just
favors. Just say do party favors. Don't
okay.
use the D word.
Your
Don't use the
life
S word.
would be. You're a very intelligent person, and if you decided to do something like that, your life will be totally different.
Of
If
course.
you understand, if
Yeah.
you understand the different dimensions, you understand every decision that you make has a different outcome.
Yeah.
Those are the different dimensions,
No,
and when you can think on
I
that
reject that.
realm, okay, let's say a woman that you mess with,
Mm-hmm.
whether you had a kid with her or not, is you're gonna have a totally different lifestyle.
Of course.
I'm just telling I'm just telling you about the different dimensions on everything is possible. You know how they do the monkey with a typewriter? That's
Yeah,
what
that's not the same thing. But here, let me jump in. So what you're talking about, yes, there are infinite possibilities, right? These all don't happen in different dimensions. They happen in this dimension, right? These infinite possibilities. So we have no evidence that they're happening. Like there's parallel worlds that are happen where other things are happening. We have infinite possibilities upon infinite possibilities. And what happens, like with the many worlds interpretation, is that once something happens, the other ones don't happen, right? But yes, you're right. There are infinite possibilities, but it's not like all these infinite possibilities are happening somewhere else. That's not how it works.
oh, and I understand what you're saying. And the only thing I'm saying is that one decision can alter your life, and that leads to a different path. Not and you're talking about reality and what we live in now.
Yeah, but you don't have any evidence of dimensions, but we're like way off track here. I'm trying to understand why your God is not evil. So help me out with that. So let's get back to that.
Well, we kind of already went. We already said that God is both good and evil. So
Okay,
we
you did
already
say that?
did.
Okay, so he's both good and evil. Okay, well, I think that's where we're at then.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can ask a question.
Um, how did humans get on Earth?
Abiogenesis and evolution through natural selection and adaptation. That's what we have evidence for.
So you believe in science, right?
Absolutely. Do you believe in
So
science?
of course.
Okay.
So if you believe in science, when the dinosaurs were here, there were no humans, right?
Mm-hmm. Couldn't have been.
Okay,
That was like,
so
yeah, they died out at 65 million years ago, and humans didn't appear on the planet until like anywhere from 3 to 800,000 years ago. But
okay,
at least
so
300,000. Yeah.
okay, from that event, that what event caused the extinction of the dinosaurs? The asteroid hitting the Earth, right?
Yeah. The asteroid hitting the Earth like right around where Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico or whatever it was. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Do you think that was something outside of humanity that was planned, or you think that just
No,
happened?
wasn't planned. It just happened. Because we have asteroids
Okay,
that are flying by in our solar system all the time. That one just happened to hit. And there was a time when many, many more asteroids were hitting our Earth. We have evidence of that. We have evidence that they were hitting the moon, because that's why we got craters all over the moon. And until the solar system really matured into what it is, that's when everything kind of slowed down. But we have asteroids coming through all the time. They just get, because of gravity, they just get diverted in different
okay.
directions.
Hey, see, I like you. See, you got the questions right. So let me now look.
Thanks.
I look now because you're well read, and I appreciate that as a black man. What I have to ask you is, do you believe that there are beings, aliens, whatever, that are smarter or dumber than us in the solar system?
I don't know. And I mean, it's possible, but I really don't know. It could be. I mean, it's a good chance. I mean, given the size of the universe, the number of planets, like estimated to be like 700 septillion, there's got to be at least one species that's, that can, that has like at least similar, or I don't want to say superior or better, like the same level, or, that can think, that has advanced technology. I don't know how to frame it, because I'm not trying to
No,
say,
no,
yeah, because it's not really a
you're framing
hierarchy.
it. I can tell you very quick and you're very witty. And that's what I was trying to lead you to, because if you understand that every star that you see is a sun, like our own, are bigger, there are suns out there that are 600 times bigger than our own sun.
Mm-hmm.
And there are planets that revolve around them. And every star that you see may have 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, who knows, planets that
Yeah.
are okay. So, and you think that we are the only intelligent being
Well,
that
I just said I don't know. I don't think that.
you do
I
know?
really don't know. I really don't know. I
You
mean, I
don't
said
have
I
the,
said it's a good chance. You heard me, right? I said it's a good chance. But I'm not
yeah,
going to
but
say yes, there definitely is. No, we don't have any evidence. But I said it's a good chance. It makes sense.
so you always say the evidence, but you know the truth. Because you say the evidence,
Can't know the
but
truth without evidence, brother.
it's a trillion stars out there,
Hey,
you
it makes
know.
sense. I'm with you on that. It makes sense. But I'm not going
Oh,
to call it true until we have evidence.
and I understand. Okay, so even with going with that, um, if something was to come and observe our planet, and we're talking about religion and God and or Buddhism, Hinduism, and
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about this, and let's say you have enough knowledge to know that something exists that's more intelligent than us, and you go and you get the same knowledge and you observe different galaxies of planets, and you land on these planets and you see that the red people, the blue people, the purple people all have these different mindsets of Jesus, Buddha, whatever, and we keep going, we travel the galaxy of intelligent beings. Just
Mm-hmm.
hypothetically say, how would you look at that?
Oh, like if I went to another planet and there were all different kind of beliefs?
Yeah, yes, thank you, sir. Yes,
Okay, I
yes,
got you. So the way
yes.
I would look at it is then to me, that isn't any more evidence of a creator, because then you would have to think that if they have all these different beliefs on their end, and on top of that, our beliefs are based purely on what we think of our planet. It is very like locally based, right?
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
don't, yeah. I mean, just think about like the three major religions, they were birthed, started within like a few hundred miles of each other. So if we got this creator who created everything in existence, a universe that's 13.8 billion years old that stretches, in all sides infinitely, right? 700 septillion planets, trillions of galaxies, all this and that, and you're telling me that the three major religions were on this little tiny planet within like a few hundred miles of each other? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
And see, so you got that point,
Mhm.
and because you very quick, and boy, you smarter. Like I love you as a black man, man. But you quick, and but you just said
I appreciate you,
exactly.
man. Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying though. Also, uh, NDEs. Have you ever had an NDE, a near death experience?
No. However, I do know from the evidence that I have looked at, from the research that I have looked at, that there is a high probability that NDEs are caused by a significant increase of carbon dioxide in the body.
They
And
also say DMT involved and everything like that, and
yeah,
they say
yeah,
all that.
but
When you
yeah, but they have strong correlation to carbon dioxide. And in addition, the most interesting part of that, the latest research that they have, is that when they pinpointed in the brain where NDEs come from, and when there is damage to that part of the brain, in every case, the person did not experience an NDE. So when there's damage to that specific region of the brain, there's trauma to that specific region of the brain, no NDE.
well, only thing I can say to you is about that is until you experience certain things, you can go research, but when you experience that light at the end of the tunnel is very real, and until you experience certain things like that. Let's say if you never did the tree, or
Mm-hmm.
if you never drunk alcohol, certain things like that. It was like, oh, well, I heard it do this and that, but you never experienced it. And then when you experienced it, and if you experience moderate drinking to blackout drinking is different, but
Mm-hmm.
you experienced it.
Well,
So now you
let
can
me.
talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead and
yeah.
finish. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying experiences matter when you're talking about certain things.
Do they?
Because if you, huh?
Do they? Because like when I think about like a person with schizophrenia, does their experience matter?
Where is it logical?
Well, I mean, if they hear voices talking to them, telling them to do things, because
Oh,
that's an experience, right? Is that a real experience?
do you dream at night?
Yeah. So that's an experience too. So is that those things in the dreams actually happen?
They maybe in another realm or another dimension they may happen. You never know. But listen,
Okay. So back to the person with schizophrenia. Hold on. One more thing. Back to the person with schizophrenia. You're telling me then because they experience it, it's true.
No, I never said that, brother. Like,
Okay.
come on now.
Okay.
Don't
Well,
do me
yeah,
like
but see,
that,
this is what I'm doing. I'm taking it kind of to a reductio, and I'm testing what you're saying, because you said the experience matters, right? And so if the experience matters, then we should just believe what everybody's experiencing. But you just said, no, not with a person's schizophrenia, but what's the symmetry breaker here? Like, what's the difference? Why would we ignore or dismiss their experience but then a person with an NDE, or you said a dream and that may be in another dimension. Why do we take those seriously?
Okay, so one is a mental health issue.
Okay.
One is reality. Okay,
One's
so
reality, one's a mental health issue. Dreams are reality?
oh, no. Just listen to me. When you dream, can you feel in your dreams? Have you ever felt in your dreams?
Yeah. People with
Emotional?
schizophrenia feel things too.
Well, I'm
They feel
not.
people touching them. They feel things. So
Okay,
that
well
means it's true.
that whatever they're dealing with, I don't know. I can only go with it. A normal person.
But I mean, they feel things, they hear things, they see things. All their five senses are triggered in a person with schizophrenia. So that means
well,
if all of them are
well,
triggered,
well,
that means it's real, right? It's true.
no,
They taste things,
no.
so they think
Your
they're eating
dream.
something. They're actually not. Like they try to eat rocks and they think it's like a jawbreaker candy, like a Jolly Rancher. So that means it's real. It's true.
No, on the reason I bring up the dreams. So everybody dreams, right? You haven't had dreams.
We know why.
You felt things in
Neuroscience
your
tells us
dreams,
why.
right?
Well, neuroscience tells us
No,
why.
no. I'm just asking the basic question. You felt things in your dreams, like physically,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And neuroscience tells us why.
Emotionally in your dreams.
Mhm.
Your sleep.
Yep.
What realm is that?
It's not a realm. It's not a realm. It's in our brain. Like neuroscience has figured that part out. I mean, they don't know everything there is to know about dreams. Okay. I'm not saying that, but they know a lot. They know like what regions of the brain it comes from, like what it does in the brain, like how it induces, how you get to the dream state. They know all that stuff. They've studied this for a long time.
Okay, so I just use that as a tester, right? That's just a tester because you're very smart, but you need evidence. See one thing about you need evidence.
Yep. Need evidence, brother. Yeah. Why believe it with no evidence?
Okay, now let me ask you this. Do you think that there are things that travel faster than the speed of light?
Nope.
But they got evidence that there are things that do.
Like what?
They call neutrons. They call
Neutrons?
it, yeah, and no, not neutrons. Neutrons. They call them
Neutrons?
tetrons. Yeah,
Okay.
if you do your research.
Okay. All right.
Okay, how can anything travel faster than the speed of light?
Well, because that's under classical mechanics or classical physics. So if it's under quantum physics, then I mean, I'll research it. But see, that's the thing. That's the difference though. See, Strong Money, the thing is like you present me evidence like that. I go look at it. I go research it. Then I'll say, yeah, I'm wrong. I didn't think anything travel faster than the speed of light. But if you show me and then I see it and it checks out, then I'll change my belief. Yeah.
So do you know about string theory?
Yeah, although that's still considered fringe.
Yeah, I'm just
physics is going away from that because quantum mechanics has exposed some issues with it.
Well, serums say different now.
I mean, there's still physicists out there who are working on it, because it's not complete. They're moving away. I'm not saying it's completely dead. I'm just saying they're just moving away from it. There's just a lot of problems in it, but I'm not saying it's completely out of the realm of possibility.
To our understanding, we are like if you see a person with a cell phone in the 1500s, they would thought that would be impossible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like that I'm just having conversation with you, and I got a little bit more time, so
it's all good.
I know
it's your time, brother. You use it up.
Yeah, and that would
good use of time,
because you're a very intelligent person and your time is valuable, and I understand that.
Yeah, but that's why I set 30 minutes, and if you take up the 30 minutes, that's okay. As long as you're cool. Yeah, that's take up the 30 minutes. It's all good.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get it where I can, So so we talking about different theories, but again, like I said, just like an iPhone in the 1400s would
Hmm.
be unconceivable. Some of the
Yeah.
things that I'm talking about are kind of unconceivable. Um, but if you put the puzzle pieces together, they're very conceivable.
Yeah. And but see, that's possibility. And see, possibility and evidence are two different things, right? Because you can have, like I said, there's infinite possibilities, right? But that doesn't get you to therefore it's true. You see what I mean? That's like a big leap. You gotta have possibility. Like for example, would you say it's possible that I levitated and spit fire this morning?
Certain laws ain't gonna allow that.
Right? Okay, so certain laws ain't gonna allow that, right? Now, if I told you that, and let's just say my friend Monkey Boy here, he told you, oh yeah, I saw it. Now, is it possible?
Shit. You levitating and spit fire? Nah,
Mm-hmm.
nah.
Still wouldn't believe it,
Yeah.
right? What would it take for you to believe it?
You levitating and spit fire?
Yeah. Like, okay, so like what if like 100 people from chat said they saw it?
Well,
They
if
were at
you
my
on, hey,
house
look,
and I levitated
hey,
and
now
spit fire.
look, it's a possible way to do that now with
So it's
illusion.
okay, so it is possible.
Yeah, yeah, but it depends on what you're talking about now.
All right.
Cause you can get on a lift that's kind of hidden and
Mm-hmm.
breathe some alcohol and has a fire that you throw and breathe it out. So it is possible as a stunt in the safe,
Okay,
but
so
you
it is
in your
possible.
own house levitating and breathing fire out your mouth is the odds of that happening unless you concoct a concoction is not happening.
All right. So in that sense it is possible, but what I'm saying though is let's just say it just I did it in a way that broke the laws of physics. So I didn't use any props, didn't use any tricks, no, no trick cameras, nothing like that. I
In the
literally
notice
levitated in the air and I literally spit fire out of my mouth. And 100 people saw
in another solar system, maybe.
it. All right. All right, that's fair.
I can go
So
with another.
so you still wouldn't believe it. Now, what if I did it in front of you?
Hey,
Because now we're
boy,
now we're tying it back to experience.
I might start believing in Jesus Christ again, boy.
Okay, so see, this is actually good because this is kind of what we're talking about. Because you did say earlier the experience matters, right? So you'd have to see it to believe it, right? You don't rely on people telling you or me telling you. You'd have to see it to believe it, right? But even
Yes,
then,
sir.
you still might not believe it, right? Because you're like, would you say you'd probably look for the wires and look for the tricks that I'm doing, stuff like that, or will you
Yeah, for
just believe
sure.
it if you saw me do? Yeah, see, and that's what I'm talking about. That's evidence. See, you would look for the evidence that I did that. You see what I mean?
Well, I already related to you on that, like the
Yeah,
Noah's Ark and all that kind of shit. Like, man, oh my bad, I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. You can say
Yeah,
that. That's fine.
yeah, the Noah's Ark and the Moses opened up the sea. I understand that. So hold on. What I want to ask you, because I only
Yeah.
got a minute left,
All right.
um, your take on consciousness and where does it come from? And you got it from here, and I'm done. And I followed you, and
All
I'm
right.
gonna hit you up again.
Okay. Neuroscience says it comes from the brain. It doesn't come from anywhere else. We don't have any evidence that it comes from anywhere else, I should say.
Why I'm not you?
Hmm?
Why am I not you? Why am I not a woman? I'm not saying I want to be a woman. I'm just saying why. Who chooses to put me in the body at this time? I could have been born in the 80s, the 30s. I could have been born black, white, Jew, all that.
That's all part.
With
That's all part physiology, how your brain's shaped, the type of hormones that are in your body, testosterone levels, estrogen levels, all these other different things. It's a combination of all these things that determine who you are. Like,
your consciences.
because we all started out as female in the womb before we
Yeah,
became,
for sure.
before we got our, sex at birth, right? That's why we got nipples.
Well, that's my time. And then, brother, you go ahead and bring up your next guest.
All right.
But I will use all them minutes. You're a very wise man. I
Used them up,
appreciate you,
man.
brother.
Man, used them up. So, all right. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming up. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, sir. And I'll be
All
on
right.
here.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Monkey Boy, what is up?
What's up? I didn't see. There was one part I thought of. I just didn't find. I noticed this thing when I join people's lives. I'm like really reserved. Like I almost let the host
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
want to.
I'm kind of that way too. Yeah. Oh, brother, you can jump in anytime, man. You got that.
You're word.
Yeah, you got that sauce. It's all good. So yeah, so we're giving everybody a little pregame preview, huh? A little pregame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all will get a taste of what's coming at 7:00 Central tonight. Me and Monkey Boy will be on Truth Wanted. So yeah, man, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming in. You gonna stay for a minute, or you gonna dip after a bit, or?
I gotta go in a bit, but I'll see if there's a moment with the next guest I could come in.
Oh yeah, hang out as much as you want. Okay, we'll bring up face value, and then I'll bring up my other friend Reckless. So we'll bring them both up at the same time. Face value. All right, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Yeah,
Hey,
good.
not much.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Yeah, can I get your age and pronouns, please?
Yeah, 26. And then he.
All right, very good. All right, which God do you believe in? Christian God, right? I see a cross in your name.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
All right. What's your best evidence that this God is not evil?
Yeah. When I saw that prompt, I immediately detected it as like a loaded question. You know what loaded questions are, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the question, like, it includes an implication that God is evil. So that's where the loaded question kind of conclusion came from. So I want to kind of understand.
We can change it to I think God is evil. What's your best evidence that he's not? Is that better?
Well, I mean, you could change it to that, but then I'd be forced to ask, like, how are you defining evil here?
Okay. Evil is defined in the dictionary as profoundly immoral or wicked. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Do I agree with the definition that's profoundly immoral or wicked? Well, it's like that definition is still begging the question: what is wicked and what is profoundly evil? Yeah, because it doesn't define what wicked is, and it doesn't define the standard of what profoundly evil is. It's just a circular. You understand that definition is just circular.
Okay, so you're going to want to take that up with the Oxford Language Dictionary people, because that's where it's from. So that's not that's not my problem. That's their problem.
Well, yeah,
and so you want to go take care of that, and I'll go to the next guest, or do you want to keep talking?
No, it's no problem because your prompt assumes.
Can't hear you, bro. You're
oh, sorry. Yeah, it's your problem because the prompt invokes that circular logic. Your question is literally begging the question.
No, it's not begging the question.
It is.
I don't think you do. Hey,
yeah, because you don't have a standard.
Is that begging the question?
No.
Is Monkey Boy the authority of logical fallacies now? Like what?
Yeah, I'm asking him because he knows a lot more about philosophy than all of us do. So I'm asking him what he thinks about that. So.
Well,
you can ask him for his opinion. That's fine. But all he's doing is sharing his opinion.
Yeah. So let's let him share his opinion then. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Em.
Yeah, typically begging the questions an informal fallacy when the conclusion appears in the reasoning. So begging the question doesn't actually have to do with questions. Maybe you question the meaning of the word, and there's further words that are used to define that maybe you need clarity on. That's question beggingness is a type of inferential error. It's like an error in reasoning, not something like you define a word and require further clarity to understand. But about this defining the meaning of evil, I don't think that's really needed, because I think there's a shared concept amongst speakers that are used. It might be true for many words that they're not per se definable. some words you might even say are like primitive, like you can't define the word red, you can't define the word exist. But then there's other words that the ordinary person can't, strictly speaking, explicate in terms of further words, but you could still meaningfully talk about them. There's other things like cluster concepts. So there's a lot of ambiguity with language, but we still, when you and your mother or you and another person are engaging in general conversation, you and that person are already participating in the use of the concept, and you don't, ask for like a rigor analysis of what the word good means. I think you have a shared concept in which you guys can meaningfully dispute whether or not God is good and bad. I don't think there's a need for this type of practice.
Shared concept of evil. Well, I definitely don't have a shared concept of evil with an atheist who I'm assuming, and this, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I am making an assumption here, that you believe that morality is subjective, so it's just dependent on basically what you believe and your feelings.
Yeah, your
So no, I wouldn't have a
your
shared.
assumption would be wrong. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, but feel free to correct me. I don't mind.
I just did. So what else you
Yeah,
got?
I mean, I don't really know.
Well, all you said is that my assumption was wrong. I was
Yeah.
hoping that you'd be able to. So you do believe that morality is actually objective
Yep,
and
absolutely.
not subjective, correct?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Well,
yeah. Now, do you believe morality is objective or subjective?
Yeah, objective. Yeah,
Subjective?
not subjective. So
Okay,
we
I got
agree.
you. Yeah, we do agree.
We're on the same page.
Mhm.
So what is your objective moral source for morality?
The laws of logic and the principle of generic consistency.
Okay. Look, I'm going to give you credit. That is very fair. I would say that's actually a very fair source for where you get objective morality from. It's still incomplete, but it is actually a great, fair, and logical basis for your position of objective morality.
Okay. Do you feel that your objective morality is complete?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the laws of logic would be, I would say, the secondary layer of where the objective moral source would be. And then the primary layer would be God, Jesus Christ.
Okay. So we could test that then, right? Whether or not yours is complete.
Well, it depends on the measure of the test. If the measure that you're testing it by is flawed, then no, we wouldn't be able to test it.
Okay. So what would be a good way to test it?
Well, I don't know. You're the one that said that we could test it.
Well, I asked you if we could, and you said it would depend.
Well,
so I'm asking you what would be a good way to test it?
Well, I said it would depend on the measure of the test. If the measure of the test is flawed,
okay.
Well, I don't know of any tests though. I can't think of any tests that would.
How do you determine then whether or not something is objectively moral or immoral?
How would I determine whether something is objectively moral or immoral?
Yeah.
I would look at the words of Jesus Christ.
The words of Jesus Christ?
His words from the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's what I would use the basis on and testing whether something is immoral or moral.
Okay.
Someone, for example, if someone said we should not turn the other cheek and we should actually hate people or hate our enemies, then that would be the outcome of the test that I would apply, because in the gospel of Jesus Christ, Christ said to love our enemies and to turn the other cheek. So that would be like the basis of me testing whether something is immoral or immoral. So if someone said the opposite of that, then I would be able to conclude absolutely that their position is immoral. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So is it moral or immoral to follow God's laws?
Is it moral or immoral to follow God's laws?
In your worldview. Now I'm operating within your worldview because you said you're in your objective moral worldview. Is it the right or the wrong thing to follow God's laws?
Well, it's definitely the right thing to follow the God's laws. Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, and it sounds like Jesus agrees, right? You would say Jesus agrees?
Well, Jesus is God, so we'll be following Jesus's laws. So
okay, all right,
yeah.
Okay. So then that means it's objectively moral to grape children. Yeah, because that's what's within God's laws.
See, this is what atheists do. They think they're so clever, and they just end up making a fool of themselves.
How about we just answer the
I mean,
question?
what are you talking about?
Wow, that's a heck of a dodge there. So
it's not a dodge. It's like
it's a dodge. Do you want to answer the question? Is that a yes or is that a no?
Yeah, I'm not going to engage with troll bait. You can do that with someone else.
Is that a yes or a no? Well, as long as you're up here, you either answer the question or you dip. Your choice.
Well, I mean,
I just make you look like a fool and I just clip you. I clip for him.
I mean,
for the next 20 minutes.
Look up, like you literally
all right,
just
I'm going to ask. Okay, so that's dodge number 1. I'm going to give you 9 more chances to answer the question. So, is it objectively moral to follow God's law to grape children? Yes or no?
I mean, I stopped taking you seriously after
that's
you said
a dodge
that.
number 2. Okay, I'll ask you it again. Is it objectively moral or immoral to follow God's law to grape children? Yes or no?
Why does the atheist still think
dodge
that I take
number
him
3.
seriously?
Is it objectively moral or immoral to follow God's law to grape children?
What happens after dodge number 9? I'm curious.
Yeah, you get dumped. So that's dodge number 4.
Oh, that's it?
Dodge number 4.
Oh,
is it objectively moral or immoral to follow God's law to grape children? Yes or no?
Dodge number 5.
Okay. Is it objectively moral or immoral to grape children according to God's law?
Dodge number 6.
All right. Is it objectively moral or immoral to follow God's law to grape children? Yes or no?
Dodge number 8.
That's 7. All right.
Oh, dang. I hope you wouldn't know this.
Yeah. Is it objectively moral or immoral to follow God's law to grape children? Yes or no?
Dodge number 8.5.
All right. All right. Up to 9. Is it objectively moral or immoral to grape children according to God's law? Yes or no? There he goes. So that was quick.
God damn, that's wild.
That was easy.
Just like that one you had on last night. I caught your replay, Dad, and I want to tell you that Noel or whatever the fuck his name was.
No? Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, that was fucking crazy.
I mean, soon as he went to objective morality, I was like, that's over. It's done.
I really didn't expect him to tap out like that. That's wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was easy. I thought he was going to put up a better fight than that. But no. It's like
even like on the stove. It wasn't even like the cooking happened yet.
Right.
It was like the first question into him starting needing to like bite these horrible bullets. He already started dodging.
Mm-hmm. It was like the first question, he dodged it. Oh man. But I mean, it's like listen, bro, it's not my fault. I mean, he locked himself in. He said, I follow the teachings of the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm like, okay, so that means Jesus said to follow. Oh, of course, he's God. So we're supposed to follow his laws. Okay. I guess we follow the laws of grape kids. According to you.
It's telling that he didn't change it, and he instantly started saying stuff like, you think you're so clever and not engaging after that.
Exactly. It was easy.
Help me.
All right, JR.
You're going to help me. When what help me do nothing? You're bright on face. You watch nothing yesterday?
All right. Hey, JR.
You do nothing yesterday?
All right, he's not ready. Okay. You ain't got boots for the hike yet. All right. Let's put up tenement yard billionaire. Tenement yard billionaire. How's it going?
Bro, the Bible is real. It stand the test of time, bro.
All right. Let's start out. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
I'm a man, and I'm 33.
33 and a man? Okay, that's your sex. Thanks for telling us that. Ask for pronouns, right? So which pronouns do you want us to use for you as a man?
He. H-E.
Fantastic. He, him. All right. And which God do you believe in?
The one from the Bible.
CMB. Okay. All right. What's your best evidence that this God is not evil?
Because the Bible makes sense if you take it as an allegory instead of literally. Some people can't discern figurative writing from literal writing. So they ask why donkeys and snakes could talk. You'll
Okay.
fail the SATs.
Okay. So Jesus didn't really rise from the dead then, because that's an allegory. It
The
didn't
whole
really happen.
thing is an allegory, man.
Okay. So then Jesus is, and God's not real, and Jesus didn't rise from the dead. All right.
No,
Hey.
God is real.
Well, wait a
But you
minute. It
can't
says God's
interpret
real,
the
but you
book.
just said the whole Bible's an allegory, and the Bible says God is real, so that means God's not real. God's an allegory.
No,
So you
the
just kind of blew up
entire
your own argument.
Bible isn't an allegory.
Okay, now the
majority
entire
of it is
Bible is an allegory.
allegorical.
How did you figure out what's an allegory and what's real?
Because I know how to use grammar properly.
You know how to use grammar properly? Okay. So what you're saying, okay, well then help us out here. So when it says in the Mosaic Law in the Old Testament that God commands to grape kids, how did you figure out that was an allegory? What exact words in there, according to language, tells you it's an allegory?
What specific chapter and verse are you referring to?
It's Numbers 31, verses 17 through 18. It's the one that the last one was too scared to look at. But I commend you for your bravery to look at it. So let's go take a look. So here, point out exactly in the scripture that tells us that it's an allegory.
Now, I'm making sure I don't misinterpret it. And
Yeah.
Make sure I turn
Take
this
your time.
Bible to Numbers 30.
Yeah, we got 27 minutes. You got plenty of time. Take your time.
You're talking about now unalive all the boys, that one?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
But then look at the next verse. Yeah, you're right, Peg. I've been locked in. My bad. But yeah, so 18. But all the young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him keep alive for yourselves. So let's kind of parse that out. Now, when we talk about a young girl who has not known a man by sleeping with them, what do they mean? What kind of girl are they talking about?
That's definitely an allegory.
Okay. And what tells you
That's
it's
an allegory?
Okay, well, help me out. Which words indicate to you that it's an allegory?
Because the way that it's written, you
The
can
way
tell
that it's
It's
written.
an allegory.
And okay, well, tell
Correct.
us how it's written. In what way is it written that it says it's an allegory?
Because think about it, right?
No,
It's
not think about it. Tell us. What is it? Give us the exact explanation that tells you that this is an allegory.
because it's basically saying that women should be clean. And those people were sinners, so they
It
were unclean.
says women should be clean. So, but all the young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him keep alive for yourselves. That tells you that a woman should be clean? How? What
Because
word
the
says
young
clean?
girls and women, hold on. In that specific story, right? We're going to keep this in context. We're captives, right? Of families that had been slaughtered by their captors, right? And they
Yeah.
possess no agency.
Who was
Any
doing-
subsequent marriage, hold on, any subsequent marriage, right? That was strictly regulated by biblical law, right?
Who was
Would
doing
not
the
be
slaughtering?
consensual, right?
Yeah, who's doing the slaughtering?
The whole thing is an allegory. If you take that
Okay,
literal, you would take
let's
the
ask
whole
let's answer
Bible
my
literal.
question. Let's answer my question. Who was doing the slaughtering?
It will be the Israelites.
It's the Israelites. And why were they, and who commanded them to slaughter?
You're asking a rhetorical question?
Well, let's answer it. Who did? There might be some people in the chat who don't know. You're not just talking to me. You got an audience of 190 people here and another 63 on YouTube.
Well,
So
God gave the commandment.
God gave the command, right? So God
Yeah.
commanded for the Israelites to slaughter all the little boys and all the woman who's known a man by sleeping with him, right? And all the young girls, he said to keep, right? Now, but see, but what kind of young girls? This is important. Young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him. What exactly is that kind of girl? What kind of girl is that?
Hold on, because we have to take this in context here.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're putting in the context. So, young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him, what type of girl is that? Let's put it in context.
Hold on.
Take your time. And if you need to like phone a friend, or I can bring somebody up from chat to help you out with that. If you just need help, just say something. I got you, brother.
Yeah, the allegory behind it, right, is between divine authority and worldly ego.
The
So
allegory
you ever
behind
heard
it
of a
is
book? Hold
okay.
on,
Wait,
hold
point the
on. You ever
words
heard?
out. Point the words out.
So you ever heard of gematria?
No. But here, help me out here. You said the allegory is what?
The allegory, right? It
And what is the
represents the
allegory?
clash between
Okay.
divine authority and worldly ego.
Divine authority and worldly ego. Okay, what is representing worldly ego?
Hold on.
Come
I'm
on
gonna
up,
get the
Nitro
gematria.
Rockstar. Let's
No,
talk.
I'm gonna get the gematria for you. Give me
All right.
1 second.
Request up, Nitro Rockstar, if you're not up yet. Okay, how you doing?
Hey, Trust, just came up to let you know that Rainbow Ash got bingo.
Oh, yay! Okay, so sorry. Rainbow Ash got bingo. Congratulations. So sorry about that. I've been locked in.
How they could get in on the next game too, so.
Okay, all right. So Rainbow Ash, congrats. So that means Rainbow Ash gets. Wait, is that your second one? Have you spent your other one that you won? Because I think you have an automatic jellyfish, right? I'm pretty sure you do. Because you didn't spend the other early kick pole one, right? So you can keep 2 early kick poles, or you can upgrade to, you can swap out for an auto jellyfish, an auto kick, an immediate kick. Okay, so yeah, just let us know. So if you want to keep 2, that's fine, or you can swap out. All right, you want that kick? All right. So Rainbow Ash has opted to swap her 2 early kick poles for an automatic kick. All right, congratulations. That is exciting. We finally got a winner. All right. Well, I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna reset the game now. So everybody who has a card, I'm gonna reset the cards. We're gonna clear and scramble them. And if you want to, 115 cards. Wow. So if you want to play, I'm going to copy the link in the chat for everybody on TikTok. So go ahead and go there and go get your card. If you are on YouTube, the Nightbot does auto post the link every couple minutes. So you can scroll up and look for it, or wait until the next time it comes around if you want to play. So yeah, everybody, it's free to play. So, just go get your card and we'll start it up. So hurry up, go get it. And we're going to start up the new game. All right. That's awesome. Congratulations, right, Rainbow Ash. You're just crushing it. Okay. Back to you. Thank you, Pokey. You're welcome to stay up as long as you want, Pokey. All right.
So the gematria, right? It says the allegory, right, is about destroying the toxic fragmented parts of your ego, the Median, right? Being ruthless in that pursuit, right?
All right. How do we know that's true?
So it's saying to sever, because the gematria pointed it out. Because the Bible, right?
Yeah, how do we know the gematria is true?
Because Hebrew language, right, is like Greek. They had their numbers were also letters, right?
Let's go to.
So that's why, when you look at calculus, right? It's all
let's go
Greek
to
letters, right?
Okay, let's go to the Greek then, or let's go to the Hebrew. So, Numbers 31, 17 through 18. So we're here in Numbers 31. All right, so here's the ancient Hebrew. So tell me where it says here in the Hebrew. Let's start with verse 17. Okay. And therefore kill every male among the little ones. So tell me here in the Hebrew exactly what you said that it's an allegory. Which exact words here in Hebrew?
The whole thing is an allegory.
Yeah. So tell me which words. You
Because
said the whole thing is what?
So
Okay.
like virgins and slaughter, right? It has different meanings allegorically than if you take it literally.
And where does that say that here?
So the promised land, right? Represented, right? Israel, right?
Okay. What I'm asking you is, where does that say that here in the Hebrew?
You have to go to gematria. That's why they got gematria calculators online. It's like if we were using
and again,
the Quran,
how do we know
abjad
gematria is true?
calculators.
How do we know gematria is true?
Because the Hebrew language is 22 letters, right? Each one.
I'm looking at the Hebrew language, but
value.
you're not telling me what about the Hebrew language makes gematria true. We're looking at it right now. So tell me which of this points to gematria being true.
Do you know what gematria is, though? I thought
no
you
idea.
said you didn't know what gematria is.
Yeah, but you're saying that Hebrew says gematria is true.
The Bible is the way that the Bible is written, right? It's supposed to be read by people that were initiated, right? So if you're an uninitiated reader, you're gonna make a lot of errors, right? Especially if you don't have a full grasp on grammar.
Okay.
It's like, for example, let me give you just an example, right? Like they make Shakespeare required reading for us in American high schools, right? In grammar schools, because when you get to the SAT test, it only tests on math and grammar. So if you don't have the discernment to understand what satirical writing is, you're not going to be able to appreciate something like Shakespeare.
Okay.
So if you don't have the ability, to know what an allegory is or an idiomatic expression, like if I said keep your eyes peeled, to a foreigner, they might literally
I know what an idiomatic expression is. I know what it means to say keep your eyes peeled. It doesn't literally mean to peel your eyes. So I'm asking you.
So that's what I'm saying.
Well, then
the Bible
that's
is
why
not
I said
literally go grape people's children.
Yeah.
You can't take that literally either.
Okay. So then tell me how you know that's true.
Because I went online and I ran into a gematria calculator.
You ran into it, and then how did you figure out that that's true? How did you know that's true?
Because it makes sense, right?
To
when
whom?
You look at it,
to whom?
On the breakdown.
Makes sense to whom?
To anyone that can read.
To anyone that can read? Okay.
Because an allegory means what? To convey a deeper story, right?
Yeah, but it's only claiming that's what it is, and I want you to give me the evidence that that's what it actually is. You're just saying, well, it just says it is. But how did you figure out that what they are saying is true? What is your evidence that they are telling the truth?
Because it lines up. In ancient allegorical
it doesn't line
structure,
up. Well, tell me how it lines up. We're looking at the Hebrew right now. Hold on, the billionaire. We're looking at the Hebrew right here. We're looking at it. Tell me how it lines up, word by word. Line it up for us.
All right. The crux of the allegory: the young girls who have not known a man represent pure, uncorrupted life force.
And where does that say that here?
Potential.
Where does that say that here?
You would have to take the verse and put it in a gematria calculator. That's just the Hebrew alphabet.
Understood. So it says that, and you're just saying it says that in the gematria calculator. And how do you know again? How do you know the gematria calculator is true?
It's like knowing that 1 + 1 is true.
No, because we can demonstrate that 1 + 1 = 2. So I'm asking you to demonstrate that the gematria calculator is true.
But how do you know it's true unless somebody taught you the concept of addition?
Well, you simply take one thing, right? And you take another thing, and then you count, right? 1, and then you add 1, that's 2. Easy to demonstrate. So demonstrate for us. So if you're saying it's as simple as 1 + 1 = 2,
let me show you
demonstrate
an example,
Demonstrate for us that the gematria calculator is true.
If it wasn't true, then it wouldn't make any sense.
Well, you're okay. Granted, then it's not true because it doesn't make sense. So do you have anything else?
Why wouldn't it make sense to you if you didn't pull up a gematria calculator? You just pulled up the Hebrew alphabet.
Yeah. So I'm not going to pull up the gematria calculator because you haven't demonstrated to us why it's true. You just said it's true because it's true. It's true because it's true. That doesn't make it true. You're just doing a lot of trust me, bro, here right now.
No, it's not trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro doesn't fly here.
The same thing. No,
Trust
you
me,
could
Udo
go
doesn't
look up
fly
the
here.
same thing
Yeah.
or
Okay.
ask AI.
All right. I reject it. Do you have anything else? Unless you can demonstrate that it's true, you demonstrate that it's true. Unless that,
Okay,
then
so
give
if I
us
ask
what else.
AI the same question, right?
Okay.
AI is going to give me the same output as the
That doesn't
breakdown.
mean it's true. So again, demonstrate that,
That
it's
means
true.
that you can't read with
Or
comprehension.
do you
And
have
I
any
can.
other? Do you have any other evidence?
If you ask AI the
Do
same
you
thing, it'll
have
give you
any
the
other
same breakdown.
evidence? Billionaire, do
I
you
will
have any
take
other evidence?
ChatGPT as my evidence.
Do you have ChatGPT as an evidence?
And
Rejected.
gematria.
Rejected. Do you
The
have any other
gematria.
evidence? Do you have any other evidence?
And the English grammar.
Do you have any other evidence?
That's my evidence. The thing is,
All right.
you're
Have
going
a
to
good
make
day.
it seem like you have.
All right. So saying gematria calculator says it's true, that makes it true. That's not evidence. So we got to understand what evidence is. All right. So where's Nitro? Is Nitro still in here, or did Nitro get called? Yeah, gematria is such malarkey. It's just gematria is like, I don't even know what the fuck it is, Bible guy, but it doesn't even matter. It's just it's true because gematria says it is. That's all he was saying. It's like right there. I don't even need to know what it is. Then all you got to do is just ask him. He got okay. So Nitro got liquidated into the lake of fire. It's too bad for Nitro. Why do I always catch myself rubbing my chest hair? Maybe it's enjoyable, nice weather. Maybe that's enjoyable for you. And you know what? It doesn't harm anybody. So please keep rubbing your chest hairs. Please do that. That sounds like a nice thing.
Hey.
All right. User 398. How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
I am 24 and I am a man.
You're a man.
He, him,
okay.
as you would say.
He, him. Thank you. All right. Which God do you believe in?
I believe in the Christian God. And also, before we start, gematria, he's wrong about what gematria is. Gematria, like, you know the whole 666 thing?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sure. I don't really
Gematria
care,
is
sure.
where you have the numbers that represent letters. So I don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah. It's like the numerology thing, right? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up. All right, user 398. Well, do you want me to just call you user, or is there something else you want me to call you?
Until I figure out this app and how
Guest.
to
We'll just go
actually
guest.
change my name, you
All
can
right.
just call me user.
User, guest. Okay, we'll just roll with that. All right. What's your best evidence guess that God is not evil?
I would say that because God is the standard of good.
Standard of good?
Yeah, he's the standard of good. Everything that we would call good, the way we view that derives from his nature.
Okay, it derives from his nature. So,
yes.
Okay, and so, how do we know about his nature?
Through revelation.
Through revelation? Okay.
Yes.
What does that mean, though?
Through what he reveals to... Sorry, I was cooking chicken. Through what he reveals about himself to us.
Okay.
So,
and how does he do that?
Well, through revelation. It would be through his prophets, and now in the modern day, it would be through his...
Okay, so just through the prophets and through how?
It would be through his prophets. Christ, of course, being the very nature of God on earth. We could look at him, but ultimately today it would be through this church.
And through his church. Okay.
Yes.
And so he revealed his nature through Christ, and so you would agree then
through Christ, and then ultimately
through the prophets, and you would agree that Christ said to follow all of God's laws, right?
Yes, he came to fulfill the law, not to abolish.
Yeah, he came to fulfill it and to follow the laws, right? So we must follow all of God's laws, right?
As Christians, we're under a different covenant than they were. So
let's take a look at that real quick. All right.
Yeah. You could go to the Last Supper where he says, "This is a new covenant in my blood." That is the... Yes.
Okay, so help me out here. When it says here under Matthew 5, chapter 5, verses 17. It says, "Do not think I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I've not come to abolish, but to fulfill." So as far as the law goes, guest, when you drive the speed limit, are you following or abolishing the law?
Excuse me?
Are you when you drive the speed limit?
I would be breaking the law.
Are
if
you
wait? You said if I break the speed limit?
When you are driving the speed limit, are you fulfilling or abolishing the law?
Oh, I'm fulfilling the law.
Fulfilling means you're following it, right? So Jesus was here to follow the law, right? And the law means
no, he was here to
law.
complete the law.
Okay, so help me out here because you just said. So are you completing the law when you drive the speed limit?
No. Well, actually, yes, you are actually. You're completing it because the task is to drive at this certain speed limit. You are driving at that speed limit, so you completed that task.
Okay, so the next time you drive on that same road, are you required to drive the speed limit again, or because you fulfilled it the previous time, you're no longer required to drive the speed limit?
It depends. If the road signage on the street says instead of 35, you can go 40.
That's not what I asked.
Going 40 would be fulfillment.
Well, that's not what I asked. I said if the speed limit is the same, and the next time you drive on the road, are you allowed to drive whatever speed limit you want?
Well, we do have slowpoke laws, but I get what you're trying to say, so I'll go with it.
I just really wish a Christian would just answer honestly.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Let's go with it.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I would be following the law.
Okay, so are you allowed to drive any speed you want after you fulfill the law one time? Yes or no?
Realistically, yes, but ultimately, no.
Okay. So that's what that means here, right? So tell me when you read verse 17 why that's different than what you just described.
Do you think? What do you mean? Oh, in terms of us having a new covenant?
In terms of us not having to follow God's laws anymore, because you said we have a new covenant, so we're not subject to Mosaic law. So explain to me where in verse 17 it says you do not have to follow Mosaic law.
It wouldn't be in verse 17; it'd be in the Last Supper.
So
the new covenant was not formed until the Last Supper.
So Jesus contradicted
prior to that,
himself.
they were still observant of the Mosaic law.
Okay, so Jesus contradicted himself.
Because Jeremiah has a prophecy where God says that I will form a new covenant with them, and I believe it's Micah who speaks about how the Gentiles will start to offer incense.
Show me in the New Testament where it says the new covenant includes not following God's laws anymore.
Why would you think we're not following God's laws?
Because Christians are deluded. So can you explain to me exactly which verse in the New Testament
you realize
says
Jesus is
you
God,
do not
though.
have to? Yeah, you do not have to follow the Mosaic laws. Show me exactly in the New Testament. Okay, that's not what I'm asking.
I'm sorry, did I drop for a second?
And you're not answering my question. I asked for the exact chapter and verse.
Well, I'm Orthodox, so we don't do sola scriptura.
Well, okay, so you don't follow your own Bible then?
No, we're not sola scriptura. Sola scriptura is a Protestant idea. It's a bunch of BS.
Yeah. So you don't follow your own Bible. You just make up your own rules. Yeah, you make up your own rules.
No, the church is the one who gave us the Bible. We're the only ones who are able to properly interpret it.
Mm-hmm. So you just don't follow the Bible when you don't want to. Right. Gotcha.
Well, no.
Okay, so we'll move on. So in that sense then...
Wait, hold up. Are you disregarding historic Christianity that never followed... that also followed the teachings of the church?
No, I'm explaining that because how else do you know? Because you're saying you know God by revelation, right? And so church. Then, but you're saying the Bible doesn't talk about God at all. You didn't find out about God through the Bible. That. Okay, so you found out about God through the Bible, right?
And his church, yes.
And his church, yes. Okay, so, all right. I got to drop you because you're eating, and that's disgusting, and I can't listen to it anymore. All right. So, all right. Queue is open. Yeah. Let's just not eat when you're up here, people. That's just disgusting. Let's just not do that. All right. So queues are empty. So if you are a believer of the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, If you are at least 18 and you have evidence that God is not evil, request up. Yeah.
You've got some very, very, very feral people this week.
Oh yeah, it has. Jennifer, you wanna come back up and talk more? We can talk more. I think Jennifer's complaining because it did not go well yesterday. Oh, yes. Yes, I have limits on eating. Yes, I do. It's like in that sense when it's like in my ear, right? Oh, it went great for me, Jennifer. Yes, it did. It went outstanding for me. So, yeah. So, if you have any evidence that God is not evil, if you are a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, and you're at least 18, request up. Okay, we have Jason, who's in the queue. Let's bring up Jason. How's it going, Jason?
Good.
All right. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
23. I'm a guy.
You're a guy? Okay. And so as a guy, do you prefer he, him, she, her, they, them, we, us, ours, they, them? Which pronouns do you prefer? He, him. Thank you. All right. And which God do you believe in?
I believe in like the biblical God. Well, okay. Is this for the biblical God or is it for God in general?
God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. So you fit the criteria. All right. What's your best evidence that this God is not evil?
Well, I guess it's just based on like a more philosophical approach about whether God is evil or good.
Okay.
Rather
than
yeah.
What's that philosophical approach?
Well, I guess, if we define good and evil, we might say that good is what? Is maybe you gotta see if you can help me out, because I mean I want to stay consistent with your own thoughts too.
All right. Well, it's the dictionary definition of morally good is that which purports to righteousness, virtue, or ethical principles. And something evil is profoundly immoral or wicked.
I like that.
All right. Okay.
So I would say that it is consistent to think that, well, assuming God is eternal, say we believe in God and we believe he's this eternal spirit, eternal person, eternal mind, whatever, it would make sense that a living, eternal person, spirit, mind would have to be good, because good, as by your definition, is like a promotion of life and existence, and whereas evil is more associated with like death and hatred and all things negative, I guess.
All things negative? Okay. And so are you saying that everything God does and says is good? And commands, we'll say it like that. God does, says, commands is good?
Are you being specific, like within the Bible or in general, or what?
Well, I'm asking from your perspective. Does everything God does, that he says, that he commands, like all his actions, are they good?
I think so.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Okay, gotcha. And so, all right. And is everything in the Bible true?
I haven't read the Bible like word for word, every single word, like through and studied it, but I would imagine that I would like to believe it is. Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha. All right. And so is God giving a Mosaic law to induce abortions? Is that good or is that evil?
A Mosaic law to induce abortion.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know the context or the story behind it.
Right. Well, in your worldview, is abortion good or evil?
I mean, abortion is a kind of a general term, like an aborting of a life, right? So we might even consider like the ending of someone's life an abortion. It's kind of what it is technically, right? So I do know that God commands death to commit, I don't know, wouldn't call it murder, but whatever you'd call the ending of someone's life.
Okay.
In the scriptures. And as a believer, I reserve that right to God. I don't think we and I don't think that he does that today in today's world either.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that it's good when God has a command for abortion, it's good, otherwise it's not good?
Well, God is not human beings, right? So God created human beings. So he has a different rule book, so to speak, when it comes to
He has a different rule book. Okay. So
yeah.
I'm still not getting a straight answer from you. So when God commands abortion, is it good or is it not good?
I mean, I would imagine anything he says and does and commands is good.
Anything he says and does and commands is good. Okay, got it.
So yeah.
And that includes abortion. Okay. And now if it's a painful abortion, it's still good?
I guess it depends. It depends on
what would it depend on?
Well, sometimes when you do
Give
things,
us the parameters. What are the parameters?
They hurt. If you do something that hurts, it doesn't mean it was bad, but
I'm talking about an abortion that God commands. Is that, and if it's painful, is that still good?
Yeah, I don't think the pain has much. It depends. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't think if he's trying to torture a person, like an innocent person.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be good if he was torturing an innocent person.
Okay. And so it's if he's torturing an innocent person, then it's not good.
Yeah, I would say that's not good.
Okay. And then what would you consider torture in the case of God commanding an abortion and it's painful to the pregnant woman? What's the line between torture and not torture? Yeah.
That's a good question. Maybe I answered too soon because, I mean, there is pain and suffering in the world.
Yeah.
So it is fairly interesting question.
Yeah. And so I just need to know, like, yeah, what would you put it at? Like, so God commands an abortion, right? The woman undergoes some pain and possibly dies. So is it? So I'm trying to understand because you said it was torture.
I guess because I don't know fully the context, I would just from where I'm at now, I would say if a woman experienced pain, if her baby was, what's the word that you use on TikTok? Like, unalived. During or through one of God's commands, then I would just, give it the benefit of the doubt or whatever and say, well, maybe there's some reasons that I'm unaware of because I just simply don't know the context.
You would give it the benefit of the doubt. Okay. So, okay.
Because I don't know the context or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I haven't given it time. I like to give things time to consider,
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to the verse then. Or it's actually quite a passage. It's pretty long, but this is this is concerning an unfaithful wife. This is Numbers 5, verses 11 through 31. And it says here, the Lord spoke to Moses saying, speak to the Israelites and say to them, if any man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him, if a man has had intercourse with her, but it is hidden from her husband, so that she is undetected, though she has defiled herself, and there is no witness against her since she was not caught in the act. If a spirit of jealousy comes on him, that's the husband, and he is jealous of his wife who has defiled herself, or if a spirit of jealousy comes on him and he is jealous of his wife, though she has not defiled herself, Then the man shall bring his wife to the priest, and he shall bring the offering required for her, 1/10 of an ephah of barley flour. He shall pour no oil on it and put no frankincense on it, for it is a grain offering of jealousy, a grain offering of remembrance, bringing iniquity to remembrance. Then the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. The priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel and take some dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle. Now let's stop right there. Now, this dust that's on the floor of the tabernacle, Jason, do you know what that dust consists of?
I don't.
Okay, so the dust on the floor of the tabernacle, that's where the people like committed all of their sacrifices to God. So they would slaughter their livestock, and all of those drippings and blood and all that stuff would land on the floor of the tabernacle. All right. And anything they burned or whatever, it would stay there. So that's the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle. And the priest would put that into the water. The priest shall set the woman before the Lord, dishevel the woman's hair, and place in her hands the grain offering of remembrance, which is the grain offering of jealousy. In his own hand, the priest shall have the water of bitterness that brings the curse. So it's a curse. Then the priest shall make her take an oath, saying, if no man is lain with you, if you've not turned aside to uncleanness while under your husband's authority, be immune to this water of bitterness that brings the curse. But if you have gone astray while under your husband's authority, if you have defiled yourself and some other man than your husband has had intercourse with you, let the priest make the woman take the oath of the curse and say to the woman, the Lord make you an execration and an oath among your people. When the Lord makes your uterus drop, your womb discharge. Now may this water that brings the curse enter your bowels and make your womb discharge, your uterus drop. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. Then the priest shall put these curses in writing and wash them off in the water of bitterness. He shall make the woman drink the water of bitterness that brings the curse, and the water that brings the curse shall enter her and cause bitter pain. The priest shall take the grain offering of jealousy out of the woman's hand and shall elevate the grain offering before the Lord and bring it to the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the grain offering as its memorial portion and turn it into smoke on the altar, and afterwards shall make the woman drink the water. When he has made her drink the water, then if she has defiled herself and has been unfaithful, the water that brings the curse shall enter in her and cause bitter pain, and her womb shall discharge, her uterus drop, and the woman shall become an execration among her people. And that pretty much says she dies. But if the woman has not defiled herself and is clean, she shall be immune and be able to conceive children. And so in a lot of cases, the execration means she dies. But at minimum, it means that she becomes sterile. This is in the case of law in the case of jealousy, when a wife, while under her husband's authority, goes astray and defiles herself, or when a spirit of jealousy comes on a man and he is jealous of his wife, and he shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall apply this entire law to her. The man shall be free from iniquity, but the woman shall bear her iniquity. So that is the entire law. So back to now you hear the entire context. That's the entire law in its entirety. That's the context.
There's a lot going on there. A lot of, I think I understood most of it, but the language and everything is a little bit not.
It's archaic, yeah.
Not common, yeah. So.
Yeah. So essentially, it's an adultery test, right? That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And all that needs to happen is, because it says up here earlier, it says if a spirit of jealousy comes on him and he is jealous as a wife, that's all it needs. He just needs a spirit of jealousy. So if the man suspects her of cheating, that's all it takes to invoke this law. That's all we need. Now, you would agree that God knows whether or not a person has committed adultery, right?
Yeah.
So why would there need to be a test like this that would potentially put the wife's life in danger?
So she drinks that fluid, you're saying?
She drinks the bitter waters, yeah. And it causes a bitter pain, and her uterus to drop, and her womb discharges.
Right. Yeah, it's and all you need is the husband's Suspicion is what you said.
That's it. Just suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to sit with that. I mean, I know like throughout, it's not just like this one spot in the scripture, but throughout the entire Old Testament, there is like a very clear narrative between, or what, like the view on the unit, the marriage unit, whatever you want to call it, husband and wife, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And off the bat, it does sound kind of consistent with that.
Mm-hmm. About the marriage unit, but the problem is we don't see anything for adultery for men. It's all based on women committing adultery. Now there are laws against, that if you are caught committing adultery, you get stoned to death. But this seems to be a bit of a different thing. Like, being stoned to death, that's pretty horrific in and of itself. But all it takes is an accusation from the man, from the husband, and this happens.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah. You want to sit with that one? You want to see another one?
I do got some food to pick up.
All right.
I'm a little busy, but appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming up, Jason.
Sharing your knowledge. Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Maybe that will prompt him to read more of the Bible. All right. That was cool. I've been wanting to add that to the rotation chat because that's a really good one. It's Numbers 5 verses 11 through 31. Yeah, especially if he's going to have lunch. He didn't want to hear anymore. I agree with that. You haven't heard that one?
Not in a while.
Yeah. It's been a minute, huh? That's a good one. I was introduced to that on Reddit. There was this subreddit that was called I think it was called Parlor Trick, because there was that social media site Parlor that the MAGA was so like up on before Truth Social came out. And so there was this guy that used to go on there, and he called himself Bitter Waters like ministry or something like that, and he would just troll MAGA people about abortion, and it was hilarious. And he would say, you have to, so your God loves abortion. Here's the verse. And he would cite the entire verse. It was just delicious. It was so great. But I think Parlor is not a thing anymore. I'm not sure. Yeah, but that was nice to see. All right, let's bring up Hugabua. Hugabua. How's it going? Oh goodness, what do we have here? What are we looking at? I'm going to. I don't know what the heck that was.
What the fuck was that?
I have no idea, but
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was disturbing. That was very disturbing. Yeah, that was diverse. How's it going, Rev?
What the?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. I hope it was a stomach. Yeah. I don't know what that was.
Act to follow.
Yeah, it's a lot to try to come up with something to talk about. You know what? You can, if you want to go check it out, it's on YouTube. You can go check out the live stream on YouTube, and you can just rewind back a bit, like a couple minutes, for those that missed it. Yeah, once was enough. But that's if anyone wants to. Yeah, but just a warning: you cannot unring that bell. I'm just saying, you can't unsee it. So you've been warned.
That's not the first time that I've seen something like that happen. I've been on my live, like when I go on lives at night, and these guys will just show me their fucking light switches.
Oh,
like,
boy.
it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, y'all are wild.
Yeah, it's wild. That's wild. Yeah, that was wild. So what's good, Rav?
Not much, you know, just getting ready for this evening. And
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's in a few hours. You've got you got Sabbath in a few hours, huh?
Celebrating our graduating seniors tonight, so that's exciting.
Oh, exciting. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. You know, I'm looking at the chat and I'm seeing, you know, people are sharing their stories. And it's you know, as far as it goes for women, I feel for you. I am so sorry. There's just so many people out there that do that to women. And in fact, it is actually, I would call it a form of sexual violence. Actually, that's what I would call it, because there's no consent there. You know, they didn't get your permission. It's way out of context. And it's awful. It's awful.
Certainly minimal enthusiasm too.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just the same thing as somebody walking to you up in the street, you know, with in a trench coat, you know, the old days. Somebody in a trench coat doing that. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Gross.
Canada called it right, Peg. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, we did a little bit of Numbers 5, Rev. I don't know if you heard any of that, but I've been wanting to like add that to the rotation.
What's remind me the?
Oh yes, the bitter waters ritual, to see if the woman has committed adultery. You know, from the accusation from the husband. So yeah.
So I'm curious to hear what you're. Can you hear me at all? I know I'm like in a bad. Okay.
Yeah, kind of in a bad area.
I'd be curious to hear your sort of take on that, and then.
Well, it's interesting because.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You're kind of cutting in and out. But my take on it is, I don't think it really. I mean, it's a pretty concerning. It's a very concerning passage. For me, it does show like the imbalance, and it's very patriarchal, because it is, you know, all it takes to invoke it is just a suspicion of, you know, a spirit of jealousy from the husband, right? And that's really all it takes. And then the priest will do this ritual. We don't see anything equivalent on the, you know, for males. Although males can be, you know, tried and convicted of adultery and there are consequences, it just seems like there's a lot more like provisions in place for women for when they commit adultery. And so it is an imbalance there. That's the first part. But
there
then
is
the
one. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
There is one equivalency, and it's right after the golden calf story.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay.
Where Moses grinds up the ashes and makes Israel drink it. And I think the parallel being that that adultery is like always an analog. Like marital adultery is always an analog for idolatry, and idolatry is always an analog for marital adultery. But to your point, there's no direct, like, it's not the same when it's like a man accused of adultery is certainly not going to have any repercussions.
Yeah, or at least less repercussions, right? Or maybe even not repercussions on the man, like in the case of David, right? Yeah, something like that. Like everybody bore the consequences except really David. You know, yeah, he was distraught and he laid on the floor for a few days and didn't eat, but you know, otherwise, you know, he wasn't raped and he didn't die like his child did. So yeah, it's just things like that. And and then the other part of it is I was explaining to the chat that this passage was used to troll MAGA, you know, several years ago. You know, because the big thing on the big thing on the ticket was abortion and pro-life, and and it was just used as a way to say, well, wait a minute, your God is pro-choice. Your God loves abortion because here's a law talking about it that he gave to the people. So that was something too.
How did you feel about that usage in support of healthcare?
I thought it was funny. It was a troll. And
for sure.
Yeah, it was funny because I mean, you make the uterus drop, the womb discharge. I mean, that's pretty clearly abortion, right? And on top of that, this is actually worse if you think about it, because if the uterus drops, now I might actually ask you a question about that, because is that a more of a figurative thing like in the Hebrew, or does that literally mean that it leaves your body?
So I think my guess is, and I'm going to take a look in just a second, but my guess is the word here is rechem, which means womb. And like, I don't think people in the late Bronze Age had the term uterus in their vocabulary.
Right.
Meaning like I don't think that this was exactly, biology that I mean, obviously it is a biological process, but I'm saying like they're not. What do we got there?
Oh, this is what is this called? Bible Hub. I was just going to go to the Hebrew. Yeah, I was just going to go to the Hebrew. Yeah. Okay. Here, let me.
We don't have to leave the screen.
Yeah. So I don't remember the exact passage, and of course it's drawn a blank here. I might have
5, right?
Yeah, it was Numbers 5, and then Numbers 5, and then I don't remember the exact verse. But here, let's start at 11, and then we'll just go line by line. Yeah, we'll start at but where's the Hebrew? There it is.
Looks like you're 3 verses away.
Yeah. Okay. Lying sewing. I think it was like around 17 or 18 here. Jealous of his wife. She has defiled herself. 15, 16. Yeah. Okay. 17. Some of the dust put in the water. Okay. Even further. Probably in the 20s then. Uncover. Hands remembering. Bitter brings a curse. 19. Brings a curse. More cursing. So a lot. And they also call it a curse, Rav. That's the other part of it. They call it a curse. That's not a good thing. Curses aren't good. Yeah. Okay. So that word thigh, which I know that was something, right, in the Hebrew, because that usually meant genitals, right?
Yeah, but here it's not regel. That's yirachach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
your thigh to rot.
Yeah, it's not the same word that you would see it's not the same genital word that you would see there.
Interesting. Okay. And then your belly to swell.
Yeah, that's beten.
Yeah, right here. And then belly to swell. And then let's see if 22 says anything. It talks more about the making your stomach swell. So this is a different word here. Yeah. And make swell your. Oh no, I'm sorry. And make swell your belly. So it just says it just repeats it. Yeah. And rot your thigh. That's interesting. That's what it says. And rot your thigh.
When Aaliyah has explained it in the past, she says it's because of like a uterine prolapse, because it would rest in your thighs if it was to come out of your body.
Oh, so it literally leaves your body.
Yeah.
That's horrific. That is absolutely horrific. So it's a hysterectomy, essentially. Causes a hysterectomy. That's horrible. Yeah. And there's great pain, associated with it.
Right. And
That's
people
awful.
argue and will try to say, like, well, that's not an abortion or a miscarriage. And it's like, how do you think if there's a baby in there and the whole uterus comes out, what do you think happens?
All of it comes out. Yeah. That's literally an abortion. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. So that's and so my take on that, Rev, is it's to me, it's clearly an abortion, and it sets up like this major contradiction with people, with pro-life people, pro-life Christians.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm. It sets up a major contradiction, and they will retreat to apologetics and all this other stuff. But I mean, it's pretty clear here what they're talking about.
Okay, can I have the?
And everything in Jewish law says that. Oh, one second, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so it was a prolapse. Oh, much like that one guy that was in your live that night, Christina. The prolapse you put upon him.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that everything in Jewish law says that life begins after birth. That once the baby comes out.
Yeah.
And that in fact, one is not even obligated to mourn until 30 days after birth. In other words, there is a full understanding that that this is really like a temperate, like a difficult time.
Interesting. That's really interesting. And so it's almost as if they don't become attached until, which makes sense because I mean back then up until the modern medicine, like 50% of pregnancies or something like that, like did not go to full term, or a lot of people dying, like mothers dying in childbirth, children being stillborn. I mean, that was a pretty common thing.
And that's what's so frustrating too about like the wording, because if you're not thinking about the uterus or whatever, and you see thigh rot, they use that as like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with abortion or miscarriage or whatever. And it's like, that's what's so frustrating, that it can be interpreted so many different ways. It could be, twisted to make it seem not as bad as it is. Mm-hmm. It's like, if this God was real and had all this power, why did he make it so convoluted, so, hard to translate, so hard for everybody to get on the same page? It drives me crazy.
Oh,
it drives me crazy.
Oh, it totally does.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Godwin, how you doing?
How you doing, buddy? I'm good.
Doing well.
I had something to add to this conversation. I was looking into the apologetics for what they say in response to this. Mm-hmm. And with that apologetics, I like to try to find the keystone, the cornerstone of their argument, and just knock it out, or find a way to, control the thing they're trying to control. So they try to say that what they're talking about with the term harm, there will be no harm. They say, no, that means to the woman that obviously there wasn't a baby, or the baby came out fine. They avoid the whole concept of a miscarriage or any harm. They say the harm refers to the woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you have the verse handy, but
yeah.
Literally,
Here, I'll pull it back up.
If there is no harm, yeah. Hey, everybody, how you guys doing on the panel? Good to see you.
Hi, Godwin.
So I think what you're talking about is this in 27. Yeah, 27. It says it right here. So when he's made her drink the water. Oh wait, there we go. I gotta get it like above your icon here, Godwin. Here, let me just get up just ever so slightly. Yeah, that's good. Okay. When he has made her drink the water, then if she has defiled herself and has been unfaithful, the water that brings the curse shall enter into her and cause bitter pain, and her womb shall discharge, her uterus drop, and the woman shall become an execration among her people. That part you're talking about, right?
No, I think it's the next part where if nothing happens, then there's no harm. I think it's right after that. So they're basically using that to say that never wasn't okay. If a woman has not defiled herself unclean, then and not conceive.
And she shall be immune and be able to conceive
children. I'm not sure
children.
that's it. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's the wording. Yeah, maybe it's different in the Bible I read. But
it might be.
It was the one where it says if no, it's about the fine. It's about what will happen. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm such an idiot. I'm confusing this with the one where if a woman gets hit while pregnant.
Oh, okay.
There won't be a fine. There was no harm. Okay,
like when they're fighting, right? Yeah, it's the one where they're fighting.
I'm sorry. I totally derailed
this
whole conversation.
No, it's okay. And so, but
yeah,
to
that's their excuse. That in
okay,
that one, that's their
yeah,
excuse.
There's so much violence against us in the Bible. It's really hard
so
to
much.
keep it all.
Oh yeah, it's hard to keep it straight,
I
right?
was,
Yes, keep it straight.
I was going to
Well,
bring up.
that's your problem, Christina, for graduating to becoming a human. You're
Yeah,
supposed to remain property, right?
Right, I know.
exactly,
How dare I?
exactly.
Damn you, society.
What were you gonna say, Rev?
Oh, I was going to bring that up as another citation for that supports healthcare. That's in the modern sense, in the way that Judaism understands access to reproductive healthcare. That verse also demonstrates a distinction between the value. I know it's a weird way of putting it, but the value between the mother who is alive and is clearly a full human versus the fetus that is not fully considered human.
Yeah. Well, the other part that's really bullshit about this whole thing, as far as like evangelicals are concerned, is that there was a time when they actually were pro-choice, and the reason why was because Catholics were pro-life, and so there was like this big, animosity between Catholics and like Protestants, right?
Yeah, wasn't Joe Biden,
evangelicals.
didn't he do a thing like where long time ago, the old Democrats, we're talking like years ago, they were pro-choice at one time, and now, or no,
Well-
I'm sorry, am I right? Fuck,
Well-
I can't remember.
Well, what happened was that it was during the Big Southern Strategy, and what ended up happening. This was like in the late '60s, early '70s, and they shifted the platform, they shifted the view. They began like the Jerry Falwells, the Billy Grahams, and those types started openly saying, that about the sanctity of life and all that stuff. And then it really snowballed into life begins at conception, because it was a way to galvanize the Republican Party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the Christian and the more like when the moral majority came out and all that stuff. That was so it was just a political play. That's all it is. So this whole talk about pro-life, it was just, like I said, they were pro-choice because the Catholics were pro-life, and then they completely flipped as to gain political advantage.
That's wild. I never, I was listening because I know a long time ago, Joe Biden had said that, he was against it. And then now he's for it, because he said that, the health of women should be taken very seriously, which I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these fucking men who think that, well, it's all
Exactly,
right. We
contradicting.
should tell women to what they should be, what we should tell them what to do with their bodies. I'm sorry, because you're a man of God, you don't have fucking any authority to tell a woman what to do with her body. Just because you're a man of God, it's fucking disgusting. And lately I've had AB talks on my lives, because these people, they crash out, and they think that because I'm a woman, they think that I need to be silent. I love it when they sit there and chirp, and well, you don't belong in Planned Parenthood. You don't. Why? Because it's more than just that. I get my screenings there. I get my cancer stuff there. I get my exams there. What the fuck's wrong with Planned Parenthood? It is women's health care. How much more fucking explanatory can we get?
Yeah. No, all
But
you got to do.
reckless, when God does it, it's the good kind of a schmortion.
Yeah, it's the good kind. Yeah, but just take him out. Yeah,
God
just
sent him.
let him swim in the deep waters of Numbers 5. Just take him out to those deep waters and then push their heads under. That's all you got to do.
I love that.
Yep. Or just take their floaties away, and then just watch them struggle. Because yeah, it's. I mean, you can't get around this. It's very, very. I mean, they'll do these bullshit apologetics, right? But I mean, everybody can see. Everybody can see.
Well, and they follow what the fucking thing is in office, the shit that he says, and they follow along with it, and it's absolutely gross.
Yeah. And it just, what the other part that irritates me is that there are like white men who are like at the forefront of this, like talking about this, right? That are dictating this, that are controlling policy, that are, you know, it's like the voices of women are nowhere to be found mostly.
No.
Or it's
And they
it's
don't
very
even know
conservative women. Yeah.
our bodies
Mhm.
either. So it's like,
Exactly.
you know how I always say, like with Noah's Ark, it should be on the voter registration that if
Mhm.
you believe Noah's Ark is real, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. Like the
Right.
floor just opens and you
I
fall
love
into a
that.
pit.
Right.
Same thing. There should be a question on there. Do
Or
you
like your
think women
ballot
have
just
to
disappears. Like it just
Right,
fizzles
yeah,
into thin
just
air or
poof.
something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, they should ask like anatomy questions on there. Like, do
Really
you
should.
think women have to take a tampon out to pee? And if they hit yes, then the floor just opens and like alligators eat them.
You
So,
know, I think creators who are women that are in this space, maybe they should have like an anatomy test for Phil Bros.
right? Yes. Before they even get to say anything, they have to answer like 3 basic anatomy questions.
3 basic anatomy questions. Yeah, exactly. And then if they fit, yeah, it's 3, because then if you have to get them all to continue. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's I think that's what you should do.
Below her belly button used a lot, and they don't generally get that one right.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Oh goodness. Yeah. That's just
Yeah, the
that's
incel
hilarious.
and Philbro community, the Venn diagram is just a circle at this point. It's like,
Or like it's a purple circle because the red and blue circles are like overlapping each other. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh,
It's
yeah, for sure.
exhausting.
It is.
It really is.
It really is. But yeah, as if you've noticed though, chat, I have not put the 5-minute timer lately on Phil Bros because I'm starting to realize I don't really need it. Like, or if I'm like in a mood, like I just have like short patience, then will throw in the 5-minute timer. But as you guys have seen lately, like I've been cycling through them in like, 7 to 8 minutes, sometimes upwards of 10 to 11. And I'm finding
crash out before they can.
Oh yeah, they totally crash out. Yeah. They totally do. Yeah. And so it's like I think I'm sacrificing a little bit of my mental health for the clip farming. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
one
you
last
have to
night was
sacrifice a
awesome.
little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah. So the ontology of the reductio. Love that rule. That Lilith. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, it's just like best way to create a desert is just start saying shit like that, right? Oh
A
goodness.
desert in my pants.
I just stopped there. I was going to let somebody else fill in the blanks. Yes. So thank you. You picked up right. You picked up what I was putting down. Exactly. It's perfect. But Phil Bros deserve an Oscar for trust so love the critical thought. Contradiction. So, okay. So if you are a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and you know what, friends, you're all welcome to stay up if you'd like. When we get another guest. So if you're a believer in any of those things, a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and you have evidence that God is not evil and you're at least 18, request up. So this may have just become an echo chamber. And that's okay, because like 160 people is an echo chamber. Wow. Okay. Nice weather. So, all right, let's bring up nice weather. Hello, nice weather.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Can we start with your age and your pronouns, please?
57, him.
Okay. And which God do you believe in?
Well, I grew up a Christian, so I guess that's how I see my beliefs, through the lens of Christianity.
Okay. All right. But you still believe like in like an intelligent mind that created the universe?
I see it as more as a, I don't want to say machine, but I want to say it as a sort of an inanimate force.
Okay.
That was
Inanimate
created
force.
by the universe.
An inanimate,
Yeah, like
inanimate force
basically,
created by the universe.
yeah, I sort of believe that, like, if there is a God that's evil, it was created by the universe.
Okay. That sounds like some
Like
comic book lore.
No, like abiogenesis. I believe that God was
Okay.
created like abiogenesis.
Okay. You know, that's kind of what the Nation of Islam sort of believes, like black Muslims, United States black Muslims. The Nation of Islam, they kind of believe like in this superhuman being that the universe created, and then the superhuman being created everything. That superhuman being is Allah. I mean, it detracts seriously from traditional Islam, but that's what they believe.
Well, I actually believe there's two gods. They call Satan an angel, but I believe Satan would be. This is just a theory. I'm not making a religion. And my ideas are subject to change in about 30 minutes. But I sort of think Satan is the evil energy, and that's Jehovah. Like it's mixed. It's all mixed up. It's hard to figure it out now. It's been so bastardized, the holy words. But I think Jesus was trying to figure it out. I think he got some things right and a lot of things wrong.
Okay. And so it sounds like in your view, Jesus isn't God.
No, I don't think he's God. I think that what he is he's somebody who is like a mystic. You know, when you have like Blavatsky, Helen Blavatsky, and these occultist type people, I sort of think Jesus was something like the occult.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. You know, this would be a great conversation for when I am on Truth Wanted here in a few hours with Monkey Boy. This is
all right.
Yeah, this kind of deviates away from this topic, but you might want to
add one more thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tried to strip down religion to its basic, the basic things, and I do retain the idea of, like, you know, when they say Judgment Day, I think it sounds harsh, but I think that there's going to be some kind of recalibration. Like if we have an life extension technology after the death, it would be something like a way for us to correct ourselves, to get us onto the next journey.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, this isn't
like karma.
Nice weather.
Yeah, it doesn't quite
Nice
line
weather.
up with
Could
the
I
topic.
ask you one question? Is that okay, Trust, if I ask you one question? On
Real quick, we got somebody else in the
queue.
queue, but yeah, go ahead, make it quick.
All right, cool. Yeah. Nice weather. Do you believe that the entire universe your belief, or were you just saying that someone else's belief?
What are you asking me?
I think you cut out.
Is that your belief? Oh, is that your belief that the universe created a mind? Is that your belief?
I think so, but it's possible I heard it from
that's
somebody
good
on
enough for me.
TikTok.
No, if you're not really into the conversation, then never mind. Probably Trust, grab the next. Thank you for letting me.
I find the subject of God really interesting, whether you believe in God or not. I think there's nuances where we are all partly right. The atheists are partly right. The religious people are partly right. But I think on a whole, we are all wrong. And I think
nice
that
weather?
we're going to...
Nice weather? I think the host was going to drop you, and I feel
see you guys later.
responsible for keeping you on.
Well, hey, you can, but like I said, at 7 p.m. Central Time, nice weather, you can tune in to Truth Wanted, and I will be there, and you can ask that question then. Yeah, I'd be interested.
It's called Truth Wanted?
Yeah, Truth Wanted. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Okay. It's on YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. So you can tune in then, 7 o'clock Central, and I'll be there.
All right.
Okay. All right. Have a good one. See ya.
What time zone?
7 o'clock Central Time.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one. See you then.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Let's get on to JR. Yeah, it was like not within the scope of what we're talking about. So, but it will be at 7 o'clock Central Time. So
perfect for Truth Wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, for Truth Wanted, it's a perfect topic for that. All right, let's go to J Art.
Okay, I'm not Christian, but what I believe he was trying to say, he was a Gnostic Christian.
He probably
early
was, or something like
Christianity.
that. Yeah, it sounds like some type of like Build-A-Bear god or something like that. But
Like a mix of Gnosticism and Christianity. I just don't know what mix it is. So I'm a leave right now.
okay, all right. Well, hey, thanks for your little bit of input. Appreciate it. So, all right, guest queue is open, everybody. So, hopefully I can get in one more before I gotta go. I gotta leave a tiny bit early, like a few minutes early, so I can make my on time. I gotta be on production at like an hour early. Build 2 she bears. God, exactly. Build 2 she bears. Exactly. Not build a bear, but to build 2 she bears.
Trust, you know why I think they went with she bears? Well, everyone keeps asking the question, why is it she bears? And I know this from when I used to go backpacking, and I have a feeling the people in the past didn't have a lot of knowledge about biology and animals. They didn't study them. Well, when you're out there in the woods, if you run into a baby bear, a cub, that means the mother is very close by. You just, bend down, kiss goodbye, play dead, or run away. So they're very ferocious, more ferocious than the males because their instinct kicks in and they go crazy. And I bet you that when they were trying to capture cubs to train them and stuff, they would encounter female bears more than the males because a bunch of guys with spears, a male bear with nothing to protect would just go the other way.
Yeah.
So the reputation built,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a pretty good hypothesis. I like that. AG337, you wanted to share something interesting, weird?
Hey, yeah, there's a weird law that I've been looking into. Hey, Trust. Hey, chat and everyone else, panel. Yeah, this one is kind of weird. That shows how weird the God is. And it also shows that man wrote this.
Okay.
It's Deuteronomy 25, 11 through 12.
Deuteronomy 25, 11 through 12. Yeah, we like weird laws. And shoot, I'm always looking for things to add to the rotation. Okay, so let's put it up on screen so everybody can look at it. Yeah, and you can talk us through it. So, all right.
Well, I'm teleporting a little bit. I'm not looking and I'm not touching.
Okay.
I'm just listening and talking.
Okay. Yeah. Here, I'll read it real quick, but you can tell us what your thoughts on it. So it says here, if men get into a fight with this one. Okay, if men get into a fight with one another and the wife of one intervenes. This is the one you were talking about, Godwin, I think. Intervenes to rescue her husband from the grip of his opponent by reaching out and seizing his genitals. You shall cut off her hand. Show no pity. That is weird.
What the heck?
That is weird.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm getting my butt beat, I want my woman to help a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Yeah.
So I think the loser of the fight, the one who got his genitals grabbed, he must have wrote this law.
Yeah, he must have. He must have, because that happened one time. And he's like, no, that's not happening again. I'll be damned if I'll be damned if his woman steps in.
Yeah, and they made this into a law. So I just want to come up and make you laugh and share that with you and everyone.
I like that. Thanks, AG. I appreciate that. I love it.
No problem. Right, man. Y'all let me down.
All right. Have a good day. Bye. Thanks for sharing. I love that. Yeah. Somebody just threw that in there. Hey, somebody throw that in there because I'm not going to lose another fight like that again. I like that. I think the
one that Godwin was talking about was actually Exodus 21, 22 through 24.
Let's bring that one up. Okay. Exodus 21, 22 through 20. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know a lot of these passages until I start reading them. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I've read that before. Yeah. Okay, this one. Yes. When people who are fighting injure a pregnant woman so that there's a miscarriage and yet no further harm follows. This is the one, right, Godwin? The one responsible shall be fined what the woman's husband demands.
Further harm.
What one is that? I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, this is the apologetic for abortion, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, it just
it's to say whether or not a baby has personhood. It has to do with whether or not a fetus has personhood in the ancient Hebrew religion,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And according to the way we read it as it's justifying if the baby has a miscarriage. But in their view, it means if the baby came out okay, the fine is just for, upsetting a woman or something like that. So that they focus on the wording right there and try their trickery,
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But elsewhere in the Bible, yeah, God is just taking out fetuses left and right everywhere else. But this one, he only cares if they're fighting.
And no ball grabbing.
Yeah, no ball grabbing. Yeah, if there's no ball grabbing, there's fighting. Yeah. Oh, goodness. So now what if people are fighting, injure a pregnant woman, and the pregnant woman ball grabs? So does that mean, and there's a
gotta write that one in.
Yeah, like we stack them.
That one hasn't been done.
Yeah, like we stack everything, right? We start stacking all these things that happen.
I want to ask a priest that. I want to see if he can try to hash it out with the other priests.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
it's really important that I know.
The Bible, aka the Manual of Fetus Deletus. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because
hey, congrats on the ACA gigs, by the way. That's awesome.
Oh, thank
I'm so
you.
glad you're there.
Thank you, Godwin. Thank you.
Exciting.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it is exciting. But thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well deserved, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a weird feeling because like I was listening to these not that long ago, before I became a streamer and then it inspired me to become one and it's like a full circle moment. But yeah, I'm very humbled and grateful to be on there. So thank you. I appreciate that. And
yeah, trust is going places, man. I'm telling you what, it's fucking amazing.
But anybody can do this,
Oh yeah.
Nothing special
well, you
about this.
inspired me to do it after you got me to you deconstructed me. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, and thank you. I think anyone can. I mean, because it's just really just talking about this stuff, right? Just shit that doesn't make sense, and then just saying it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. That's really all I do. I just try to make it make sense.
How many people have you deconstructed so far?
Oh, geez. Somebody asked me that earlier. Let's see. I think I put it earlier. I said at least like 10. At least 10.
Oh, wow.
But it could be more because like, was it last week or the week before CBJ, Christ Before Jesus, came in and said like 2 or 3 people came into his live talking about how I deconstructed him and all that. So it's quite a bit. And then was it yesterday or the day before, Prince Azan, he came up and he was like, yeah, man, I used to hate watch you. I was a Christian. I hated watching you. You made me so mad. But then you started making sense. And now I don't believe in God anymore. Like, oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I watched you on AXP with Thinker and that long conversation. I mean, that's the thing. Long conversations can tend to be fruitful. But that conversation you had with that guy was amazing. Like the things you asked and the things that you brought out of him. I mean, there was a few different guys, but I think you know the one that I'm talking about.
Oh, the first guy?
Yeah. Fruitful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And,
the first guy.
Yeah, that's what they need. They need calls like that. That's fantastic stuff.
Yeah. I do like those conversations. And that one, that was a really, really good one. And those kind of conversations, to be honest, are so few and far between here. It's just so performative here. That's why I had to limit everything to like 30 minutes. Or else I'd be.
Oh, that's why you started the timer?
Yeah, because it was just too exhausting to just go in circles, with people. But I don't know, maybe at some point I might.
That's why they have co-hosts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I might nix the timer at some point. But I think, because we haven't done many kick polls lately. Like they either crash out or I'm just saying, okay, well, we've talked about all we can talk about. We're kind of done here.
I've been going 15 minutes because it's just like quick to the point, next guest. Because otherwise sometimes they just preach and it's just like, okay, enough. Like I've already like asked you the question and you're just bouncing around it.
Yeah. Let's see. Jay says, what's the greatest debate you've had that you've almost lost? That's a good one. Probably, honestly, I mean, there's been some that I didn't. Yeah, there's actually one that I had. I wouldn't say the greatest debate. It wasn't. I didn't do so well. I kind of got run over. But it was what it was the guy was like he just kept interrupting me, and this was like in the beginning when I started doing this. This was about a year ago, and he just kept interrupting, and it just kind of threw my thought process off, and then it just looked like I didn't have a lot of answers for him. So he just kind of steamrolled me. But that was, and it was concerning the Midianites, and usually, and it's one I'm usually really good at, like about morality, and but he was like, the reason why God genocided the Midianites is because of the sexual plague and all this other than that, and I didn't really quite remember the story, and I hadn't read up on it like in a while, and then I like pushed him on it, and he proved me wrong, and it was just a bad showing on my part, but otherwise, that was probably one that I didn't do so well on. Okay, we have somebody in the guest queue. It's a returning guest, D Truth. How's it going, D Truth? You're back.
Peace. What's going on, brother?
Hey, not much. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we're a bit of a different topic than when you were up here last time. Well, no, not really. You were up here with Born Again Atheists. I think we were talking with you about this, right?
Was it the same topic? The best evidence that God is not evil.
Yeah. Okay, it was earlier in the week. Yeah, it was the first day I ran it this week, so that was Tuesday. All right.
Okay. I actually, I don't know if you ever got my message, but I don't know if you like keep any of the recordings of the lives you did, or I was trying to get it.
Okay, you want a recording of it? Yeah, I'll share it with you. My messages tend to get buried, so I don't see them right away. But yeah, I'll send it to you. I can do that.
Thanks,
matter
man.
of fact, I'll do it right now. Yeah.
Thanks. We can still touch back on it because I had people reaching out to me after, and it was a good conversation piece. So.
Oh yeah.
We was talking about the psychotic uncle, the malicious uncle, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was saying the duality of it all, basically a balanced universe.
Yeah, I think the tension point was, it seems like there's just this exception for this God because because what we got out of that was that you were saying, oh yeah, this uncle did this and this uncle did that. It would be really bad, and we should do everything that we need to do to this uncle, like justice and this and that. But then when we compared that to what God does, there seemed to be a lot of excuses and a lot of reasons why we shouldn't do the same thing.
We shouldn't do this. What, like have vengeance against God?
Like justice, like a sense of justice, or a sense of like why don't we think these things? Because the parallels that we were drawing between the uncle and God, if God is doing all these things, why don't we have that same sense of outrage? Same sense of outrage, the same sense of that's bad. It seems like we're trying to make excuses for why it's not bad.
Well, no, we talked about how the universe is balanced, and you guys were basically looking for a balance inside of the uncle being evil, basically, right?
I don't know. I don't
and you
know if
like,
it was that.
I remember the argument being something similar to, well, if the uncle does all these horrible things to children and then he goes and donates a few hours of his time, then is he good then? Because I was proposing that the universe is balanced, so it's a combination of both.
That's
the
right.
Creator
The balance
the creator has evil aspects, but the creator also has positive aspects. But just to touch on that, everything in nature has a nature in itself, even human nature. So human nature has a very evil aspect to it. It's some very, very evil human beings.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, I think that was the part. Okay, so it's coming back to me. So what was coming back to me about that is that you were talking about the duality, the balance, and that there has to be a balance. And so then the comparison of the balance with the uncle, that's when I asked you, well, what's the minimum number of kids that the uncle can torture for you to call him bad? And you said, well, 0, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so that's why, and then that was another tension point was, well, so then where's the balance here? So if the balance is he can't torture more than 1 kid for him to still be considered good, then it doesn't really matter how many good things he does, right? Because if he just tortures only 1 kid, then it's a wrap. He's a bad person.
I agree. But that's a conversation about human nature then at that point. And in that point that the uncle is this evil, malicious person, I could ask, are all human beings, is the nature of all human beings evil? Or do you feel like there are some very just positive human beings and some that are pretty neutral? Or is the majority of human nature malicious?
I would say the majority of human nature is good because and the reason being is because like, look,
I didn't expect that from you.
People get upset and do things like there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, right? And those things tend to get all the attention. But the reason I say that is because like with other things going on, like, you know, the people who have like power in our country right now, right? They're doing a lot of horrific things.
Very much.
Yeah, very much so. It seems to me though that, and what they've done is they, by a large measure, they have taken like there's a propaganda machine behind that, and a lot of people believe things about them, right? But
actually, I think even in that respect that they've normalized it so much, it's a great majority of people who are only able to see the negative aspects of existence, and it's hard for people to really see the positive. I remember Born Again Atheist saying something to that because I was like, well, of course it's bad things going on, but do you not see the positive? And she made a statement like, what positive? What good? All these terrible things, but it's like, it's just as much good going on as it is bad going on, but the negative seems to get prioritized and normalized the most.
There's a lot of things, but and I agree with that. But see, here's the thing. I think it's back to kind of the balance thing, right? Because like no matter how much good there is in the world, if there's 1 child that is getting tortured, that's not a good thing, right?
I agree.
That totally upsets the balance of things. So it seems to me that the balance has to be all good things, no bad things. That's what it seems to me. But what you were trying to tell me is that there has to be bad things in order for there to be good things, or vice versa.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't agree with that. Yeah, because we can show like through neuroscience, but that's not the case. That we can, like babies can understand and detect things that are good without having to suffer first. You see what I mean?
Well, being hungry or just a baby being, I got an 8-month and she cries when she's hungry. To her, that's a bad thing. And then she gets fed. So there's still a part of us that there's a part of a lack within us, a unfulfillingness in us that we speak up against when we don't have what we need. Babies have that innately. They're not trying to manipulate their parent, but it's certain things that they need, so they know how to respond the right way to get what's necessary for them.
Yeah. And a part of that also is that, you know, that's how they communicate, right? Is by crying.
Right.
And being upset. And so, yeah, there is part of that. And it's, you know, it's part of the development stage and this and that, right?
Is the baby evil for crying?
No.
Can a baby be evil?
No, I don't think it can. I don't think it has the capacity to be.
So at some point,
born evil or something like that, yeah.
So babies come in inherently good, inherently positive, or would you say they come in neutral?
Probably at best, in my worldview, it'd probably be neutral.
Okay, and then when they get to a certain age, I'm assuming when they start gaining a certain awareness, then they make the choice or the decisions, or they're conditioned or raised a certain way to lean towards more the evil or the more positive way, or they're confronted with situations that kind of test their own inner polarity towards that energy. Would you?
Because we have a strong there is a strong correlation between environmental factors and like for example sociopaths, right? Some of it is like the way their brains are shaped, but there's a large part of it is environmental factors like traumas, you know, how they were raised, things of that relationship with parents or whatever, you know, the primary caregiver. Those are major factors that contribute to sociopathy, right? And
for sure.
So it's not only just that they were born that way.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but there's factors that influence that, right? So I can't, that's why I don't get on board with, you know, babies are just born evil. I don't think they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If anything, I call them blank slates. So that's why I'd say they're neutral. They're blank slates.
I like that. I agree. Are you ever, I don't know if you're ever familiar with like the philosophy of the law of one. Kind of similar to pantheism. I think I spoke of it like
yeah, I've heard of it, but the law of one, yeah. But
okay. Well, yeah, everything
go ahead,
just
expand on it. Yeah.
Well, everything ultimately being one and separation being an illusion, but the creation experiencing itself through separation. You know, the battle of not necessarily the battle of polarity, but just existence being the interplay between differences, right? And these differences kind of like heads and tails, negative or positive, hot, cold, up and down. They seem so contradictory to each other that they seem separate, but really they're the same thing expressing themselves in different forms. Basically, so everything that seems separate really exists on a spectrum where there is some type of neutral point in there. Is that I guess hard to?
Well, if we're talking about like the concept of space, like the universe, there really is no up, down, left, right.
Okay. What is it then? It just, everything is in the center.
There really isn't a center. There really isn't a left or a right, or like if you're floating in outer space, there isn't an up or down. You know, if you go up, I mean, it's relative to other objects. So up, down, left, right is relative to other objects. So when we say up and down, that's relative to our position on Earth, right? Like how we're standing on Earth. But
even
reality,
the space between things, if things have space between them, they're
like,
still.
Well, like in Australia, for example, or even Antarctica, right? Versus the North Pole, up and down mean totally different things, right?
Because I don't really know about Antarctica, but go ahead.
Well, like if you're in the globe of the Earth, and Antarctica is all on the very bottom, right? And then the North Pole is on the very top. If you're standing at the North Pole, up and down are completely different than standing in our Antarctica, which is up, up and like up is this way in our Antarctica, in the North Pole, up is that way, right? So it's relative to your position on Earth. That's
do they still have their respective opposite?
Yes, they do. And so what I'm saying though is that like in outer space, there is no up and down. So there is no opposite because you're just in outer space floating around. Like what is up, what is down?
Okay, I can understand that because
you see what I mean. So
right.
So so there doesn't need but see, those are descriptive things. I don't think it's prescriptive. It's not something that has to be. There doesn't have to be an up and down for reality.
Well, because conceptually for us, it is for us to be able to have direction, for us to be able to do geometry, mathematics is one of the functions of our universe that we use to navigate through our reality.
Right. But what I'm saying is that like if you're taking the globe, right, and you're thinking about like a person in like the person in North Pole, person in Antarctica, and then a person in Hawaii and a person in Italy. Up and down is completely different for those people, right? Because
and to all of those people, they're exactly where they are. They're in a position, and I think that will correlate more with the law of one because it shows that it shows that unison between all things. That even though things seem different from different perspectives, it's still everybody's a center. Even like if you take a spear and you go through the spear, if you take a needle and you poke it directly through the spear, at what point is the center?
Well, yeah, it's relative. Right? Well, not really. It's relative to position, right?
Right, but you can go through a spear at any point and still go directly through the center.
You could, yeah, you could.
And that's the thing. Regardless of position, and I guess that correlates to. I guess if we can correlate it metaphysically or consciously, you experience yourself as an individual human being, as an I. So you know that you exist as an I, but every human being has that same experience as an individual I. But also every animal, every plant, everything sees itself as being the center. Everything has a center of being, right? So the fact that we all have that, so that equates to the law of one, basically. Everything being one, everything feeling like it's separate or feeling its perspective, but it's all in the same position.
Okay, I hear that. I don't know how any of that is evidence of, well, I mean, even God being real, but definitely not any evidence that God is not evil, right?
Okay, well, right. Let's take it and tie it back into that, because we were talking about polarity and negative and positive and different things like that, and how that exists inside of us consciously. And with God being evil, or God being experienced as evil, or being expressed as evil as well, or a wave, catastrophes, and different things like that.
Right.
That's also similar to the creation expressing itself negatively as a electron, or negatively in that way, but also there is a neutron and a proton that has to exist at the same time, right? All of these things are still different forms of the same thing.
But
So
I mean but I think we're getting into category errors here, because like we can't apply that to everything, right? Just because like one thing, that there is polarity in some things or duality in some things, that doesn't mean it applies across the board. And I think that's where we're getting in. We're kind of getting lost in the weeds here. Like,
okay, perfect. Let's drive back in.
Because honestly, I don't see a need for, because so before,
what's the opposite of evil?
Well, in our parlance, it would be good. But what I was going to ask you was, before anything was created, was there evil and good?
Before it existed in potential?
Anything was created, yeah.
It existed in potential.
Existed in potential. I don't know what that means. So it did or didn't exist?
It did. Just like you existed before you existed, because you existed in potential, but now you're here, right? So let me ask you this.
Well,
did you exist
in potential? You don't exist.
Did you exist before you existed?
No. No. So like,
how you know?
What you're saying is, well, because we don't have any evidence of it. What evidence do we have that I existed before I existed? That doesn't make sense.
Well, you existed before you knew you existed, did you not?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I existed before I existed. That's just because of my brain development, not having
based on your level of awareness.
Yeah, it's a level of awareness, but how do you know that there was a level of awareness before I was alive?
How do you know it wasn't?
Well, just because we don't know it wasn't doesn't mean there was. So it's a bit dishonest to answer a question with a question. So,
but we know even with all of our logic, everything that we've accumulated as human beings, psychologically, historically, we know, even scientifically, that we know less than we actually know.
Okay.
The stuff that we don't know, the unknown is more vast.
But that's not evidence of being, as you put it, existing before existing. It's not evidence of that.
How does it not, though?
Because you're just saying, well, because we don't know things, we must have existed before we existed. That's not evidence.
The fact that we
it's kind of like this. It's kind of like this, because it's like the police saying, D, there was an unalivement that occurred in your neighborhood. Where do you know where you were at this time? And you say, I don't know, right? Then they would say to you, well, then you must have committed the unalivement. Does that make sense? Since you don't know where you were, that must mean that you committed the crime.
No.
Right. So that doesn't make sense, right? Because they would need evidence of you committing the crime. So to say, well, because we don't know these things, that must mean the opposite is true. That doesn't make sense.
No, not that it's true, but that the possibility is there.
Yeah, but possibilities aren't
And-
evidence, because you would agree it's possible, according to the detectives, not you. I'm assuming you're innocent, but according to the detectives, it's possible you committed the crime, right? It's possible. But that's not evidence. They shouldn't arrest you for that, should they?
Okay, let's bring this back on to God being evil, because I want to this show I want to wrap it back around, right? Because that's the whole topic. How do we know that God is not evil? And I actually, like I said, I agree with you that the creation does express itself in the form of evil, because that's one of the form of natures is negativity. And one of the forms of electricity and everything that expresses negativity, but also there's a correlating aspect of positivity that is also relevant as well too. Is it possible to have negativity with no positivity, or positivity with no negativity?
No, but that's according to laws of physics, right? But that doesn't correlate to everything. That's what I had said earlier. That doesn't mean everything is like that. You know,
Not everything has.
It's not like a universal law.
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have polarity, but I'm talking about human nature specifically, as far as us consciously and how we interact. So I guess one way I will equate it, right? So negative would be evil, right? It would be a liar, somebody who is super selfish, right? They put themselves over everybody, anything. They're the most completely selfish person in history you can think of, who's conquered and right. And then you have, so that's negative, is I. And then you have a symbol, symbolically, someone like Christ, who says, I'm one with the Father, I'm one with everything, I am the Creator, all of these things, right? Unity, the walking example of unity and love, the exact opposite of the other one, would you say?
Okay.
So you have
Let's say it from
selfish,
this-
completely selfish
Okay.
on negative, and you have completely, you got completely selfish on the negative, and you got completely selfless on the positive. And I'm somebody who studies a lot of different philosophies, and one of them is Taoism or Buddhism, and they practice what they call the middle way, right? So that's the equivalent to a neutrality of the human consciousness of, I don't want to be positive and just be super selfish. I don't want to be just pour out and be a martyr and die for everybody out of love. So then you have somebody who practiced neutrality in that sense. So
I mean, I suppose you could. I'm just.
I mean,
still
do you
quite-
not know any of those people? Do they not
Well,
exist?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of humans fall under that, because there are humans who, there are humans who sometimes act selfishly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
They sometimes do it, but they're otherwise, they make very, very sound moral decisions, right? There are some, and it falls on a spectrum. I don't think it's either
Thank you.
all
That's
good,
literally
all
no, hold on.
bad. It's a
No,
spectrum.
but you literally just
But this doesn't. But see, here's the thing, though. It doesn't. But none of this explains why God is evil or not evil. None of this explains that.
Well, you just told me yourself that what we just discussed exists on a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing with the creator or the creation.
There's a
It
difference,
exists on
though.
a spectrum.
There's a difference, though. The difference is if you're talking about a creator whose decisions influence all of reality, that is a completely different scale.
Well, let's say
And
the creation. Do you say the creation exists on a spectrum?
not in a sense that it influences all of reality. Like
Well,
there are
it
some things
does,
that I
because-
do.
hold
No,
on.
I don't agree with that. What I
does
do does not
does
influence.
electrons and neutrons and protons
Well, hold on.
affect the entire existence of humanity?
Not to the scale that you're saying. Like I
Well,
don't
it
think
does,
that
because it's the building
no.
blocks of our
Okay,
reality. These are the fundamental atoms of our reality, are they not?
No, I don't agree with that. I
so,
don't agree.
So
with
you don't
that.
agree?
No.
Hold on 1 second. So you don't agree that protons, neutrons, and electrons are the fundamental building
No,
blocks
no.
of,
That's
of
not
matter?
what I said. That's not what I said.
No, but I'm asking you that. Are
Yeah,
protons?
I am, but that's not what I
Right.
said. You got it.
Do they-
Let's track. Hold on. Let's track what I said. What I said was, I don't think my actions affect something across the entirety of the universe. You see what I mean? It doesn't
your
affect
actions
it to that degree. No, not to that degree. Absolutely not.
So what you're doing right now will not ripple in time.
It doesn't affect anything what happens on the sun. Like our conversation, it doesn't affect anything that happens on the sun. It doesn't happen.
How do you know
anything. Well, because we can see what's happening on the sun, and it's still doing the things that it does, despite what you and I are doing.
What if it does a different way based off what you do in a way that you can observe?
But these aren't evidence. What ifs aren't evidence.
But you saying my point exactly. But you saying it can't. But you're not sure that it can't. You just assume not sure that it can't.
We don't have evidence that it does. And
I
like
didn't make the statement that it does. You made the statement that it does. I'm just saying you can't. If you're not sure that it doesn't, you can't say that it does.
No. I said there's no evidence that it does. There's no evidence of that at all. And you're saying it does. So what is your evidence
let's bring it back.
Hold on. What is your evidence that the actions that I do affect what happens on the sun? What is your evidence of that?
Okay, let's scale it back then, and I can take you there. Right. So
all right. Well, you got to make it fast because I gotta get going here because I gotta be available for production on the next show. So make it. Just go straight to the point. I gotta feed
my babies too, so I got you, brother.
All right. Straight to the point. This is gonna be the last thing.
Do your actions have an effect on me at this very moment?
Yeah, because we are interacting. So we are in what's called entanglement. Yes.
Right. Are you not interacting currently with the sun? When it's hitting your skin. And it's shining on you.
I'm not interacting with the sun. Not the sun directly. No.
You're not the sun directly.
No, I'm not interacting with the sun
directly either.
No.
So
because if I were interacting with the sun
and the sun is hitting your skin,
well, again, there would be some type of that's the sun hitting my skin, but that's not me interacting with the sun. So, nothing I do affects the sun in any way, and that's why I asked you for the evidence of that.
Okay, so if you're standing outside in the sun and the sun is hitting your skin and there's a shadow behind you and the light is reflecting and there's a shadow presented, you're affecting the sun because you're bending the light around your body and creating
that's the light
shadow
caused by the sun. I'm asking you, what am I doing to affect the sun itself?
You're bending the sun's light, so you're still interacting with the light.
But that's not the sun. That's the sun's light.
The sun is light. That's what it is.
No. It's not just light.
So you saying light. It's a lot of different things, right?
It emits light.
It's a lot of different things.
Bro, it emits light. But the sun is not light. No, it emits light. That's like saying that I am oxygen.
You just did because is water wet.
No. Hold on. That's just like let's not pivot. That's just like me saying I'm carbon dioxide. That's a category error. I'm not carbon dioxide. I emit carbon dioxide, but I'm not carbon dioxide. I'm a human being. The sun is not light. It emits light. It produces light. That's not the same as it is light.
See, now you get into a deeper point where you're not understanding the fact that words, what something is and what something symbolizes is two different things. That's the difference between a menu and a dinner. So you just said something. You said really.
Okay, they're asking me in chat not to turn the sun off.
Confuse money with wealth.
Okay, but are you saying I can turn the sun off? Are you saying that I could just cause a big blackout in the sky? That's how I interact with the sun. That's how I can affect the sun?
You had that much. I didn't say you had that much control, but there is certain things you can do to bend light.
I'm still asking you to show me what I do to the sun that we can see that I have an effect on the sun. I need you to show me that.
I just told you you can.
No.
You can take
that's
the
light from the sun.
You can literally take the.
I'm talking about the sun itself.
You saying are you gonna affect the sun by what you're doing?
Yes.
Or can you utilize the light of the sun and do something
No.
with
Let's not change it. I said, what do I do that changes the properties of the sun or affects the sun in any way? Like its rotation, its axis, it's something. Does it get hotter? Does it get colder? Does it emit more coronas, more flares? I mean, more solar flares, less solar flares? What do I do that influences the sun?
You can take that and convert it. You can take that light and convert it into energy. But again, let me go to the point. You said I'm not carbon dioxide. Do you know that there are like 7-8 main elements that the human body is composed of? carbon
But that doesn't mean
dioxide
I
being one of
am
those?
those elements. I am a human being, but I'm not those elements. That's a
what is a
category
human
error.
being? What is a human being?
A human being is an organism that is from the great ape family that is composed of a lot of different things that were bipedal. I mean, yeah, if we look up the definition of human being, that's what it is. But it doesn't say human being equals carbon dioxide. That's not what it'll say. It doesn't say a human being equals potassium. It doesn't say human being equals, I don't know, in my case, testosterone. Doesn't say that.
Okay.
That's a category error. Okay, hey, listen, D, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta go because I gotta go to another show. No, I can't. I gotta go. But if you want, in an hour, I'm gonna be on Truth Wanted. So if you search up Truth Wanted, I'll be on there and you can request up as a guest then. I have to do this show for Atheist Community of Austin. So I gotta be in production here.
You're a trillion sales. That's what you are. You're a trillion sales.
Nice.
All right. But hey, I gotta go, D. All right. So I'm gonna drop you down. But hey, have a good one. All right. So anyway.
Hey, Truth. Can I give you a fun fact about me and the ACA?
What's that?
So before I started with TikTok this winter, I used to send them the message of the week. They stopped doing the message of the week for a while. And so for about a year and a half, I was sending them in, a majority of the jokes that were sent in. Oh, that's cool. That was a fun thing to do.
That's cool. Very cool. All right. Very cool. So, all right. Well, I'm going to bring up the mods real quick. And it's funny. I had John O'Neill in the, he's got his avatar on the YouTube side. He's just been kind of sitting there waiting to get in. But hey, John, how you doing? Welcome back.
Hey, Trust. I was hoping maybe I could be a panel member going forward.
Oh, yeah.
I know what we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, my idea would be something.
Yeah, I've run out of time today because I got to be on Truth Wanted here in 10 minutes. So I gotta, but that last guest took a lot of the oxygen, so you didn't get a chance to say anything. But yeah, if you look on YouTube, you can see you're one of the panel members. we just can't see it on TikTok, but we can hear you. So, but anyway,
cool. I'd like to make contributions like that a little bit.
Sure, absolutely.
Like your other, what would you call us, co-host maybe?
Co-host, yeah, you can be a co-host. Absolutely.
You know what I realized? This is the only way I can stop myself from making those kind of jokes that might not go over well if I'm on camera. That like disciplines me to stay in the debate in the right way.
All right. Well, we got to find a way. If you're going to come from the YouTube side, we just got to find a way to make you visible to everybody on TikTok. Maybe if I move your avatar over a little bit, you guys can see. Yeah. Here, I'll put him over here. There we go. Now you guys can see him. There we go. There's John.
Hey, John.
All right. Yeah. Now everybody can see you, John. So John is I met John, was it yesterday or the day before? John's a fellow atheist. So, so he found us here on the YouTube side. So welcome in, John. And, but yeah, the last thing I do is, I bring up my mods because I'm at the end of the show and I thank them for all the cool stuff that they do. You've probably seen it before, John, what I do. So I just thank everybody. So if you see, I've got the panel, most of them are mods. I have some co-hosts here like Godwin and Welsh biologist. But you guys are welcome to stay up. I don't think I have that many mods in here, so you guys are welcome to stay up. But I might have to drop you down if I need more room.
One thing. We technically do affect the sun by pulling on gravity, but that doesn't really affect it because we come from the Earth, so the Earth has basically effectively stayed at the same amount of mass.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that, Welsh.
Because we have an individual gravitational pull, we do technically affect the sun.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna affect the gravitational pull of the sun.
Yeah.
So what do? Do I do this and then the sun moves just a tiny bit?
Nah, you scrunch up into a ball, become a singularity, mate.
Okay, so you did correct me. Okay, so guest was right. I actually do affect the sun a tiny bit.
Any ammunition,
right?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, but trust me, you can't choose to affect the sun. You have to be convinced that you can affect the sun.
Yeah.
Call
Don't
me
eat
cooked.
them all.
So everybody, please, if you have any gifts for the mods and the co-hosts,
was just crumbs left.
Exactly. Any likes for the co-hosts and the mods, anything like that, just show some love because they make this show go as much or more than I do. In a lot of ways, they keep me like upright and propped up. And, they correct me on things like my effect on the sun. So yes, so please do that because they are very, very integral to the show and they do a lot of things. And Rainbow Ash, thank Rainbow Ash and our winner for today's bingo. We finally got a winner. So just keep in mind, we have a new game. So if you haven't signed up, go to the Bingo Baker link that I have and go sign up. Blaster Master 80, thank you as well on the YouTube side. Thank you guys for holding it down. So that's it. So yes, so I'm going to be on Truth Wanted in 1 hour. That show goes live, but I got to be in pre-production here in 6 minutes. So yeah, everyone be sure to tune in. So just search up Truth Wanted on your on either TikTok or on YouTube, and you guys will find it. You'll find the stream. And
have a great show, Trust.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that.
I'll try to make it.
Okay, well, I hope to see you all there. Yeah. Have a good night, guys. I appreciate you all. I love you all, and you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. So just keep being awesome. Just keep doing that, and I will see you. Have a great weekend. Take care, guys.
You too, Trevor. See you later.